what they were at. We've got any hopes for that, but let's hear your tips for today. What about the rest of the weekend? Will it be on? That's the question. You just mentioned frost sheet. I quite like saying the word Herculean. So I'm going to, any time I can wheel it out, Herculean effort is a lovely, but it genuinely has been one by them. This week, I think, seemingly they've had to outsource, haven't they, and all that sort of stuff, and they've covered pretty much all of the new calls.
I love it, don't you, when like you get the bulletin coming out of Cheltenham this morning. It says, right, you know, we've looked under the covers and they're pretty good, so we're okay, but we're going to have a precautionary inspection at 10:30 just to make sure it's okay. Whatever they'd said there in that tweet, they would have got slagged off. Whatever, because everyone on Twitter has done a turf husbandry degree and they know exactly what it all means and they understand the complexities of it.
Don't have a go at Clark's today, by the way, guys.
I'm not saying they're perfect, but they are the most criticised group of people, apart from football referees, there is. I mean, it's a difficult job. It's tough. And, you know, it's funny, talking about tomorrow's meetings, you might say, well, look, Doncaster and Cheltenham went ahead today, so they're going to be on tomorrow. But as Kate, as you said, yesterday, at both tracks, they'd have had the frost covers down all week. Today, they're exposed so they can race today. And if the frost gets in the ground, it's in jeopardy. So we can't take tomorrow for granted, unfortunately. But at least we got racing today.
They've got to have some decent trainers on, I think, haven't they, to get those covers on. So good luck to Cheltenham for tomorrow, because, you know, tomorrow is a really, really good card if it's on, that's for sure. Just a quick word about Punchestown on Sunday. There, we've got the Gold Cup favourite coming back now, Galopin de Champs, or will it be next Tuesday?
Yeah, we're expecting Tuesday, aren't we, at the earliest? But such is the beauty of a contingency that Irish racing has at its disposal that they can move it a couple of days down the line, unlike over here where we don't have the freedom.
David Jennings says that Tuesday won't be any better. So
really,
yeah, he's a bit down about it.
Yeah, we've got a decent meeting at Ascot, of course, next Saturday as well, and they're worried about that, I think, as well. But it is what it is, isn't it? We've had 19...
We've been lucky, haven't we, Dave? We haven't had too many interruptions with the weather.
Not yet. Not yet. All right, we'll get to that. Plenty to talk about, and if you're going racing, maybe we can pinpoint whether, you know, it'll be on or off and all that sort of thing. But we must get the first trade for Betfair out of the way. I believe we've had a couple of sound issues, but we're back now as well. Sorry about that. But you can hear Marc, but on the double...
Yeah, listen, if anyone didn't hear on the sound, we've got a completely free £2 bet on UK and Irish horse racing multiples. So take advantage of that on the Betfair Sportsbook. That's just for Friday. But we've got an each way double, £15 on today. We've got Eva's Oscar in the 225 Cheltenham at 15-2. And we've got Zoffinen at 3 o'clock. Zoffanian, yeah. I watched this one run at the Paddy Power meeting. Ran on quite well. It was late money for it. It was about 80s into 22s. Ran very well. Daniel King back on board. That one's 11-1. We've got a £15 each way double, which pays £1,365 if it cops.
This is what Marc does. He sits and he watches the exchange like Neo in The Matrix, and he sees these marks that come up, and he's often getting them right the next time. Money talks, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously these people know more than us, and when the money's down, usually do the business, don't they? It's about getting the value as well. But going on to the 150 as well, because that's about to go off in 5 minutes. We've got a trade here that we're going to utilise on the Betfair Exchange, showcase the capabilities. It's pretty wide open. If you look at the betting right now for the 150, there's one I want to take on here, is Gazette Bourget. I want to place lay this one. Second in a free runner race that you tucked at her last time out. Had Fortune's Melody in behind on that occasion, but Hryhorskyj in much better form. I think this one's too high in the weights as well. I want to take this one on. I think there's others better handicapped here, so we're going to place lay Gazette Bourget in the 3 place mark. It's currently 2.7, so it's roughly around the 7-4 mark. We'll lay that for £25, liability 42.50. See if we can get matched there. We'll maybe knock it up to 2.72 so we can get on here, but I want to be taking this one. I think this one's potentially a bit high in the weights.
Your first trading example of the day then on the Betfair Exchange, and it's a place lay of Ben Case's Gazette Bourgeoise, Brian Carver. Didn't like her jumping last time either, actually.
Yeah, had every chance last time, free runner race. I don't think the form's that.
It's a bold move coming from that track to this with her jumping. Look, she's entitled to prove for it, but I'm not surprised. So 9-2 the field here. Somehow I've ended up on Electric Annie, and who's found herself towards the head of the market. I found this really tricky. I could have gone for 4 or 5 in this. I don't know about you.
Horrible start. I mean,
a horrible start.
It's a challenging start. I think they're all 4 races are really tough. I mean, I want to It's got the look of a little each way lucky 15, hasn't it? Because we've got at least 8 runners in each. But it's just finding the winners. You could have 4 goes, 1 in each race, and not get a place.
Where's your beloved distance race today? It's probably not coming, is it?
No, I'm not getting involved in the distances today. I've gone for Marta de Mott. I mean, very, very unexciting. Although drifting to a sort of slightly more attractive price. I just think there's a sort of element of progression about her, like Tom Simmons, and it's so hard to separate this lot. Dame de Soir, Paul Keeley's gone for her. But I just thought that run in this race last year wasn't very impressive. So I've gone with Marta de Mott, but with minimal confidence.
Kills is swanning around the Racing Post office today, and he likes the look of today, because I said, Kills a bit underwhelming, is it? Some of this, he goes, no, not at all.
Isn't it how different people see a card in different ways?
Absolutely, and he's, a lot of prices today, including in this. Electric Annie, when she was trained by Jack Barber last year, she needed that first run. I thought it was actually quite a good run. Harry Cobden on, he's got a 26% strike rate for Robert Walford as well. Run to form, which you can see, of course, on your Racing Post websites. He's 73, that's very high. David Bridgewater hasn't even got one because he's had so few runners. Ben Case would be 30, that's the take-on horse for Marc. Not so good. They don't have to have winners, it's horses running to near their marks, basically, to form as the sun shines at Prestbury Park. Who's Kate Tracey siding with?
I'm with Keels. I didn't know he was siding with Dame de Soir, but yeah, I thought she was a fair price as well. But literally, as soon as you mentioned that, she's just been nibbled in there on my showing anyway. But no, I really like her in this. I mean, her last winning mark was £20 higher than she's running off of here. Yes, she's a 9-year-old mare now, but she actually, as Bruce said, she ran in this race last year and she didn't run very well in it. She was well beaten into 6th, but that was off of a £19 higher mark than she's running off of here. And that was a much better renewal of this race than it is this time around. Vienna Court ran in that, who we know what she went to go and do, and the graded middle distance handicap chase at Cheltenham on her next start. So much stronger form for that race than it is here. And the 2 second place finishes on her latest couple of starts, both horses that beat her won their next start as well in good style. So I think she was unfortunate. And then I was just watching a Plumpton run back there, and all she did was stay on after being under the cosh from an awful long way out. So I think the step up in triple suit her. Unlike a few of those, Marta de Mott, she does just have that stamina doubt about her chances here, I think. So I thought I'd take her on with Dame de Soir.
We found a female Kills. They talk you into backing things, don't they? I'm going to have a little saver on this, I think. That was a very good case that was just made. The subsequent winners has caused a big thing that, yeah, absolutely, and this Hills should suit her.
Just one at a big price as well. It's Tim Vaughan's Madeira Mist. The stats for this one: 5 runs at Cheltenham, 2 wins and 1 second. If you forgive that pulled up last time out, this one's currently a 38-40 chance on the Betfair Exchange.
She won this a couple of years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. So
she's a lot higher now, but
18% strike rate for the stable. Horse are running very, very well. I mean, I've seen worse 40-1 chances in Madeira Mist.
Okay, all right, and they probably couldn't. I believe they're up with the ground. I don't think. Are they? Hugh Masson opens up the show, the social floor. If you want to get involved today, there's the social corner. We'll give you your shouts out. You get, of course, all sorts of things down there, like the premium spotlight tips as well. Afternoon, quite like Legends Ride here. I had a look at her. Second to Long Press last season, has been progressive since. This is for Jamie Snowden, a trainer who's having an absolutely wonderful time on the Buddy Power Gold Cup, of course. I wondered whether she was just a little bit high in the weights, Kate. What did you make of her?
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? Is her in the weights? I think the handicapper's probably got a hold of her. But I mean, Jamie Snowden's form, he started the season so well, and it has just plateaued. Not plateaued off by it's diminished by any sense, but they're not as well handicapped as they were previously. And I think she's another one where, for all that she's done well since she's gone into handicaps, 3 from 5. But I just wonder if she's high enough in the weights now. Historically,
you want to be hitting like a 120 in this. Although when Madeira Mist won, it was your kind of Electric Annie, Marta de Mott 108. So I'm thrilled to say that my voice will be safe for my trip back to Watford on Sunday, because I do a lot of shouting, as you know, and primarily in this studio. But thankfully, Bruce Millington's going to call these races.
Oh, am I? What's Marc like as a commentator?
We haven't tried it yet. I mean,
yes,
I think we had a screen test and it went terribly.
It's probably best to keep that one on ice for a bit. But late money for...
I'll give you a little go later. Go on.
Late money for Amy Murphy's horse here, number 5.
Hawthorne Cottage.
Yeah.
Nahu Hanon.
10s into 7.6. That's probably the market mover just before they go.
Has form against the boys this one? I know, because I've often backed her against the boys. I backed her at Newbury in the Storm Control race. You remember that last January when it was a really eventful race? She likes to get on with it, this one, but couldn't be coming into it in better form. And obviously, Some of these have got a bit to prove, obviously, so can see the money for that.
Marta de Mott's going to go off favourite around the 9 to 2.
She's the solid one here, I think.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I thought she might be 7 to 2-ish, which put me off. So you're right.
And at 5, there might be a bit more to come. We haven't mentioned her indoors. I thought the other 5-year-old I thought was quite interesting. But what?
When you say we haven't mentioned her indoors, we all think about,
Arthur Daly.
Well, exactly. We're all thinking about who is her indoors. I've got, yeah, absolutely. We got some cracking named horses coming up this weekend, and I want to talk about horse names going on because there are some very interesting ones. But I think the best named horse in training currently runs this weekend. I'm going to get to that.
Look forward
on
to
Saturday. Yeah, we'll be talking all about Ante-post as well. But the sun is shining, Bruce. I hope you got your goggles on because you might need them here. They're not doled off a fence yet, have they? But it's going to happen with the hurdles, isn't it? It's a certainty.
Well, hopefully not, but we'll see. Anyway, it looks like they're going to jump them all here. 2.5 miles the trip, 10 runners, the flag's up, so we should be off and running any moment now. Marta de Mott favourite. Her indoors is just about second favourite. Very open look to this race.
Very strong on the Betfair Exchange. Her indoors matched at 9s at a 6 to 1 now. The Betfair Exchange.
All those McNeil horses have good names. They're off and running. Here we go for our first race on Racing Post Live. Going a decent clip down towards the first fence, and the first to show over it is Marta de Mott. Being chased along by What's the Story, who's the rank outsider. Also well up there is Gazette Bourgeois, and on the outside, Dame de Soir. So definitely not hanging around. They all jump the second okay. Any early market ripples, Mark?
Yeah, Marta de Mott's still favourite, training around 4 to 1 on the Betfair Exchange, but not a lot of movement here.
Nothing's out of it, are they?
No,
Anything caught your eye, Kate?
No. I mean, it's interesting that Hawthorne Cottage, they're holding on to her. I thought
30 to 1 on the Betfair.
Oh, I'm not sure they're holding on to her, Kate, or whether she's not going.
No, she's now not going, is she? No. I mean, they jumped her off out the back, which I thought was really bizarre because she wins her races by just jumping them into submission on the front end. So, interesting
50
change.
to 1 now on the Betfair Exchange.
No surprise to see a spike there, guys.
They're down that bottom turn, that long turn that will take them into the straight for the first time, and still leading is Marta de Mott, being chased up by Dame de Soir. It's Millington versus Tracey already. And then Marc's Place Lay, Gazette Bourgeois. Oh, no, that's Madeira Mist, actually. No, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
my
Madeira.
place sitting in first.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. With Madeira Mist. In 5th on the outer, we've got Electric Annie. I'd say that Hawthorne Cottage has kind of regained some sort of equilibrium, but still a huge price, Mark.
Look at this, Devo's
80s.
come on, look at this. What are you trying to do? We're blowing smoke already. Anyone else watch the racing on mute with Bruce's commentary? Different class.
Blimey.
Loads of people do.
Go on, Devo.
Loads of people do.
That's very, very kind indeed. Blimey, all right. I think the answer is no one does. But anyway, I'm glad you do. Right, here we go then. This will be the last one next time round, and Marta de Mott leads by 2 lengths from Dame de Soir. They've opened up 4 lengths clear of Gazette Bourgeois, and then on the inner we've got What's the Story.
5 to 2 in running.
5 to 2, Marta. Actually, no, this will be the last next time round. See, I told you, Dave, I'm rubbish. Right then, what's caught your eye, Dave?
Well, my Electric Annie, I can see that's gone out to around about 30s, and
Yeah,
again,
40s on the
this
Betfair
is not good for her. Brave move by the Wolfers to bring her here. These fences, when you come from one of the smaller courses, look at that crowd at Cheltenham.
Lovely,
Isn't that
good
great
crowd
to see?
today, yeah.
Very good crowd. They're so difficult to jump. They just catch them out early. And this is why a lot of these staying chases, intermediate chases, are won by horses up front that are getting into a rhythm because it catches a lot of them out.
Right, OK, so they head down away from the grandstands, and still Marta de Mott is setting the early pace. Jumped that fine. Dame de Soir second. Still third is...
Gazette Bourgeois,
Yeah, Gazette Bourgeois.
That one.
Are you concerned about this yet, Mark, for your place, Lay?
Listen, they might collapse up front here. I'm not sure what we've got in behind because a few of them are beat. The one up front, Marta de Mott's currently 2.9 or 15 to 8 in running.
And she's open up now.
Yeah.
She's 4 clear.
I tell you what's catching my eye, Fortune's Melody, and that you can see why that's coming in on the exchange. It's just warming up now.
Yeah,
Who do you want to be on, Kate? Would you want another go, or are you keeping the faith
No,
with Dan?
I'm pleased. I'm pleased with Dam. I thought she was going to get involved in a proper sort of pace tyre up on the front end there. I thought Lily might be doing an Almazar guard from Sandown last week all over again. But fortunately, she's elected to take a lead. And Marta de Mott with those stamina queries over this trip, I'm hoping she might set it up to be a sitting duck.
Mark, you say horses quite a few are beat here. Name names.
Yeah, I don't think the one in first beat the one with Place Laid.
I don't like it, Mark. I'd be laying it.
Yeah, okay. You'd be laying and running, what's 7-2 and running right now?
Mine's gone, I think, there, isn't it? Because it's gone out to a
Here,
silly
evens.
price.
Even money,
Even
Marta
money
de Mott
then.
in
Yeah.
front. She's now 5 clear as they get to the fence at the top of the hill. Marta de Mott pings it, goes 5 clear from Dame de Soir. She's 2 clear of clean on for third place is Madeira Mist, who won this 2 years ago. Also, Gazette Bourgeois, who's now, I think, struggling, and Marc's getting very excited about his place late. Also in contention, Legends Ride,
Yeah.
and in the green, we've got Fortune's Melody.
Been
But
running
they
for
get
a
to one
place,
at the
aren't
top, and Marta de Mott. The lead has come back now, only a length and a half. Dame de Soir is still sticking on there. The winner 2 years ago, Madeira Mist.
Legend Ride
and
continuing to
also
catch the eye.
Gazette Bourgeois.
Gazette Bourgeois.
I think Fortune's Melody and Legends Ride are going okay here.
I think he just lost his irons there for a minute, Gav Shin. I don't know when she hit that previous one. They're over that one now, though. Bruce, you've got to be getting excited now. How low's she gone, Mark?
No, I don't. I'm not. I think they're coming back. Mark
He's
said there could be
saving something
pace
he's
collapse.
posting.
I
What's he
think
holding
could be
on to?
right. No,
This
I,
is the best this is the Charlie
Come on,
Post dynasty here.
I think the
Come on.
Fortune's Melody could be the danger.
closers are
They're
coming.
turning in. There's only 2 fences to jump. And as they approach it, Marta de Mott is only just
I
in
think
front, but
she's
there are
got plenty
5
in her
horses
hands. Come on, Dan.
breathing down her neck. And as we
Right,
jump
go
the
on,
second
over you
last,
go.
Marta de Mott
Come on,
from
Dan.
Come on,
Dame de
Marta.
Soir. Nothing's getting towards
This
the front
is a great
two.
ride.
And indeed,
Come
in
on,
third
Dame
is
de Soir.
Gazette Bourgeois. Coming down to the last,
Come on,
Dame de
come on,
Soir
Tracey.
is challenging.
Oh,
Dame de Soir,
it's
but a
great.
great jump again from Marta de Mott. And as they run up the head up the
Oh,
running,
come on,
Dame
Dan.
de Soir and
Come on,
Marta
Dame
de
de
Mott.
You're gonna get it,
Dame
Bruce.
de Soir, Marta de Mott. Those are it. Marta de Mott. It's going to be really
Dan.
close. This. It's Dame de Mott
Dame
and
de Soir.
Dame de Soir and Marta de Mott. You've done me, Kate.
That would have been painful to be on the back, on the wrong end of that.
Scenes of amazement in the first race. We all thought, what are we going to do with this card? Is it going to be on? Is it going to be off? We're not sure about the quality of the racing. What an absolute perler of a finish that was. We're going to have to let Bruce draw breath because for a long way it looked like Ben Post and Marta de Mott had saved exactly what he needed to. She pinged the last, but Lily Pinchin, very cleverly, didn't get into the dust-up until that final fence mark.
Yeah, it's a good ride, especially in the second half. It gave this one every chance. Win as low as 1.52, around 1-2 for £70. But great ride by Lily Pinchin on the winner. Very game. Quite lucky as well. We got Gazette Bourgeois just out the free. Finished 4th in the end, so winners all round there.
I tell you what, this panel's got something about them this afternoon, haven't they? And we've had a 1-2, we've had a place lay as well. This is the place to be, Racing Post Live, in association with Betfair. If you're just coming along going, hey, they're here on a Friday, racing's on a Friday. Welcome along, have your say. The chat is starting to spice up now. Andy Sims says, boom, come on, nice pick, Kate. Well done, Bruce, as well. The walking talking form, Ewan Keels off to an absolute flying start.
I'm going to seem like I've completely just stolen his idea now, aren't I? I actually didn't know he was with Dame de Soir there, but she looked a very fair price. And she was still just not being back, but I guess from a David Bridgewater yard, you're not going to expect a horse to be halved in price as such nearing the off. But she was so well handicapped for this. £20 lower than her last winning mark, £19 off the mark. She ran in a better renewal of this race last year. So it was all there for her. I'm pleased because Lily Pinchin, she did get a bit of stick last weekend for Almazar Guard at Sandown. But she's given this, as Marc said, such a beautifully timed ride. She really has. She could have got into a pace battle there up with Marta de Mott, but she elected sitting behind, timed it to perfection, used that extra bit of stamina in the closing stages.
She's one away from 50 career winners, Lily. So
You know what? Fun fact, we had our first ride together in a point-to-point.
There you go.
Wow, how
The
about
career trajectory.
Look at the way your career
I'll tell you what,
ways.
okay, she's not had
She's
this
there.
invite yet, Lily, let me tell you. Third was...
Legends Ride, just about outstayed the place late Gazette Bourgeois. So well done, Mark.
Winners hit 22s and running there for £110.
Thing is, they did look like
yeah.
they might get swamped, didn't
Yeah,
they?
that's what I thought coming in. I thought Fortune's Melody looked very dangerous coming in as well.
She's come up a bit short, hasn't she?
Yeah.
We'll get you times of the race and see what it's like on the chase course. We have had one 3-runner race on the chase course. We also had a decent novice chase, didn't we, go in, which Nicky Henderson, of course, won with a horse, interesting looking horse called Athica. We've got a bit of time now to the next. Andy Sim, one of our regulars. Love your multiples, Andy. What have you got on today? Let us know. Nice pick, Kate, of course. Let's warm it up then. Someone in the chat, actually, it's gone now, but Simondo10 said, can you tell Bruce that we love watching The Sweet Spot every week?
Oh, excellent.
You get
I'm glad
loads
to
of love,
hear
don't
that.
you, about your other shows? How is that going at the moment?
Yeah, going well,
Quiet time of year?
No, well,
Done now?
No, 3 tournaments this week, so yeah, all good. Some good stuff. I mean, Steve's had a bit of an up and down start to his tips this week. He's got a couple of guys up there. One of his tips, Charles Schwartzel, was going really well. Got to the last hole yesterday and took 9. Ooh. And then he's on a massive recovery mission today, flying along, gets to the 15th hole and takes another 9. It's only me that takes 9s on the golf course.
He's a Masters winner, isn't he?
Yeah. Ridiculous. He's taken 2 9s, so that's not good.
I usually think this is a quiet time. You have a 2-week break now, don't you, of course, but like in the show, but Steve is, very, very hot. It's a great watch. It's out every Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you don't know what it is.
It's always good fun. Steve's a bit of a one-off, isn't he?
Well, he's absolutely brilliant. As you long know, I've always wanted to get him on this panel, and now that I've done your live a couple of times...
He won't do it. He doesn't know anything about horse racing, doesn't like it, he finds
welcome
it weird.
To the panel. Welcome to the panel, Steve Palmer. I've got my sights on you, and you do the live show as well. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, for the big majors, we'll still watch along, so no, it's all good fun.
Yeah, we absolutely love that. All right, we're off and running at Cheltenham. Great stuff. And talking of Cheltenham, there's been a lot of talk for our next race. I think we can start talking about the festival. We can start talking about festival. Like, any time we just get Cheltenham on the show, we can unashamedly just go all about March.
It's only 3 months away.
Exactly. That really creeps up, doesn't it? We've got this wonderful Leopardstown Christmas meeting coming up. We've got all the domestic action at Kempton and things like that. We've seen a lot happen last weekend. I've not had your word on Constitution Hill yet, which I would like.
Just absolute monster.
Best Thirdly you've ever seen?
Probably, isn't he? Yeah,
He's only run 4 times.
He's
been around for a year. This time last year, we only just started to know who he was.
Yeah.
I remember doing a show with you, and I think John Bon, I think it might have been the Tolworth show. It was something like that, or we were on just before or afterwards, and we were looking at the price of John Bon that everyone, who's now, of course, looks like he might win the Arkle, and everyone was thinking, this is the supreme winner, Vittor's brother, Duvan's brother, and all that sort of thing. And then Constitution comes along and smashes him out the park. Ever since, it's just been superlative after superlative, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he does still have to prove it at Cheltenham, but it's virtually impossible to see him not doing it. He just looks absolutely astonishing, and your mind goes forward. He's going to jump fences next year, presumably. But what I would say about this horse is, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just want to make sure that if he wins the Arkle and then wins the Champion Chase, I don't want another Altior, because I want to see him be a Gold Cup horse, I just don't want to stop in at 2 miles,
I'll tell you what, this is why I like doing these with you, because you know where I'm about to go with this, don't you? OK, and Gary Troy comes on and says, is it worth taking the 5-2 Galopin de Champs now before it wins on Sunday? Well, it might be that you have to wait till Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because in the John Durkan Chase, which Allaho, of course, won last year, Galopin de Champs comes back.
5-2 for what?
The Gold Cup.
Gold Cup, yeah.
5-2.
5-2, yeah.
The worst price I've ever seen.
This is what I want to get into.
There's worse.
No, there's not. That's a terrible price.
It's hard to say
that's a
very...
price.
You're only backing that on what we saw before the fall, aren't you?
Yeah,
because...
That race is not worth anything, is it? We've seen what Bob Ollinger really is now.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree.
And then he's gone and won a very small run race at Punchestown. That's it.
We don't know he stays that far. There's a lot not to know. But why is he 5-2 favourite? Because we're going to start talking now about the markets, how they were in October and how they are now. We've got the big 4 races, of course. You might call them 5. But let's start, shall we, with the Gold Cup before we go to the Champion Hurdle. And A Plus Tard comes and bombs out. If I'd have told you in October at the very start, when we think about doing our big jump off and all that sort of stuff, and we ask you for these sort of, what's your best Ante-post bets and things like that, if I'd have told you that Honeysuckle was 8-1 for the Champion Hurdle and A Plus Tard was for the Gold Cup,
7-2 for a bombed out at Haydock, now 10-1, best price available for the Gold Cup.
You're talking about champions here. There's been so much gone on already, and we're talking about this jump season having not started yet. Are you mad? Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, it has gone up like a rocket, right, Kate?
Oh, completely, yeah. I mean, this is sort of, anti-post betting wouldn't really be my preferred angle to play this game, but plenty who will. I mean, this would be lighting up their eyes, wouldn't it? Because as you say, sort of the difference 2 weeks can make. And of course, we do have to factor in the fact that these horses have been quite readily stuffed. But for both horses that you've just mentioned, Honeysuckle and A Plus Tard, there are excuses. Well, definitely for A Plus Tard anyway. He came back and he was sick. That's shown up in tests now. So definitely not a horse to dismiss. Might be too quick a turnaround to see him again at Christmas, but definitely not a horse to write off now that he's drifted out. And Honeysuckle, she's never at her best in the Hatton's Grace. This was a whole different race for her to have to contend with, and the ground was against her, in my opinion.
She comes alive at Cheltenham in March. She's a better horse. I mean, looking at it right now, 10-1 Ante-post, 8-1 Hryhorskyj. That's an 80-1 double. If someone said that to you a month ago, you'd be like, I'll take that.
So Ante-post, up until Haydock last year, he didn't have the greatest first time out record, and he is a horse that has bounced back before from losses and things like that. I remember Kills in the big jump off did the Gold Cup division with Keith, and I remember that, you know, he's got his individual analysis and Keith looks at it as a whole, and they both basically said it's 7-2. It's if he carries on like he is, but you never know what you're going to get coming back, do you? That's the thing.
Well, the Gold Cup can bottom a horse out.
Absolutely.
They absolutely can. You know, there are horses that just don't come back from it.
But he won that looking like he'd go on again.
He did, and also if the excuse is legitimate and you've got no reason to believe it's not, then 10-1's fantastic value. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and Henry's horses, there's been a little bit of, they've been a bit in and out, haven't they? Not really firing. So
I'd much rather back Ante-post at 10s than Hryhorskyj at 8. So I'd find it very hard, unless something happens to Constitution Hill, I find it very hard to see Hryhorskyj.
She went out on the sportsbook straight after the 5-5 to 4-1, and we were like, because we sort of assumed she probably would go and make it 16 from 16 or whatever it was in Hatton's Grace. And Charlie Post, who was on the show, he was like, you're all overreacting massively. He's beaten Epperton, you know what I mean, all this sort of thing. He shouldn't be 8-11. Let's now concentrate on the Gold Cup. Once I've read Hughes, we can move on to the champion hurdle. Long Press, I mean, he's rock solid, isn't he?
He was very
Never seen a
impressive in
three-miler
Newcastle.
jump so fast. Brown advisory form working out well. Not worried about the ground. Do you mean the likelihood of good ground, Hugh? That would be the question. Wasn't too bad up at Newcastle, was it? He was rock solid,
It was
wasn't
a brilliant run, that.
Yeah.
It was lovely, and it was great to see a class horse win a handicap, wasn't it? You know, we don't get
fantastic.
enough of that, do we?
Unluckily, we didn't get it with Edwardstone, did we? Who looked like he might have done it at Ascot as well. We saw, who was it, Love Embois, the mare, even over hurdles. Hopefully this rhetoric is now, we've been banging that drum until it's been going, you know, sort of dud, haven't we?
You know, they should do something with the prize money, though. You shouldn't get the same amount for winning a handicap off top weight as you do off bottom weight, because you're a better horse. What they should do, and I've said this before and everyone goes, you're mad, but I'm right. You should have, your prize money should be based on what the median horse in the handicap gets, and then it should be adjusted up depending on whether the top weight wins it or the bottom weight wins. It should. Why should a better horse run for the same prize money against a horse 2 stone inferior? Doesn't make
That's not
sense.
the
It's
idea
an
of the
interesting
handicap.
Yeah, but it's not fair. Why should a horse who's 2 stone inferior to the top weight race for the same money when he's an inferior racehorse?
But he's getting the weight concession to compensate for his chance.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That creates unfairness. It does.
You think
Definitely
that if you, I don't know, could there be a ratings band without increasing that? Are you suggesting it's not as an attractive option as it should be?
Well, exactly. I'm saying that. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's difficult. We love seeing these good horses in the handicaps, but if you can win it with a horse, if the handicap system works in such a way that a horse that's 2 stone inferior can win, has got an equal chance of winning, then what's the incentive for the good horse to run in the handicap?
What's the name of the group again that's been set up to advise and make these changes? It's a crazy name, isn't it? It's a very long-winded name. I can't remember what it is, but they haven't really bowled a ball yet, have they?
We've got an ombudsman now, haven't we?
Exactly.
Handicapping ombudsman.
Which is very interesting, because seemingly that is, you know, causing a few ripples with the trainers and jockeys and all that sort of stuff. Look, really interesting, isn't it? Whether you agree or not, let us know. Let's go champion hurdle just quickly now, because we can talk about each day, I think, after each race today. And it's the Tuesday we want to hone in on now, which since Annie Power fell at the last in the Mayor's Novice, everyone has been obsessed with the muggy, as they call it. Multiple on day one, haven't they? And there is a classic building already, Marc, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got Supreme Arkle champion hurdle, Facile Vega 5-4 for the Supreme. Arkle Jambon 5-4, and we've got Constitution Hill in the champion hurdle at 2-5. Treble pays 6-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook.
6-1 now for that treble, who everyone just assumes. I mean, what's the dodgy one there, Jambon? I mean, to say that after Facile Vega seems a bit crazy, doesn't it? But I don't know. What did we make of Facile Vega last weekend?
Yeah, brilliant.
And did we get a little bit ahead of ourselves, saying, hang on a minute, we might just have another Constitution Hill already? Constitution Hill didn't run in bumpers, did he? So
no, of course we did, yeah.
And he beat Trees, didn't he? Who didn't want to get that close. I think we can say that.
He
The
might
time
be-
wasn't as good as the previous winner.
He might be running against them in jet birds.
Jet Power's a proper horse.
Yeah, so I think the biggest danger is, are they going to turn up on the day? In Constitution Hill, I mean, it says 2 to 7 in places, and I think that's far too short, Ante-post.
I mean, all sorts of worries you've got, haven't you?
I think there's an opportunity in the each-way market there. I think he's too short, around 2 to 5. I think the biggest danger is him not turning up on the day. What's
going to happen though? I mean, in days of old, when training facilities were less perfect now, they would tread on stones, wouldn't they? Or something silly would happen. Really, very rare now. And bear in mind, we're going to see him once top whack between now and then, aren't we? Once, maybe twice.
Well, where does he
Endo
go
was talking
next?
about going to Ireland, wasn't
yes,
he?
but this is the tease. This is the tease, Nicky, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because he did it last season, maybe. And he you know, I don't believe what you read there.
I fell for it there, didn't I? I was going, he might go to Ireland.
How wrong was that?
I think there's more chance of Epatante going. She turns up tomorrow, of course, in the international hurdle. State Man, any love for that?
Love the horse.
Won the Morgiana, won the county hurdle, massive punt there. Whenever they punt horses like that, they usually are Grade 1 class.
He's 6 to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. It looks very progressive.
Kills and G-Rod both think he's the only danger to Constitution Hill.
Yeah, he probably is, to be fair, isn't he? I mean, that's why he's surpassed Honeysuckle in most places in the Ante-post market. And he probably is because, I mean, it's the old adage of the Mullins horse that goes and wins the Cheltenham Festival Handicap Galloping des Champs as the prime example nowadays, but State Man then himself. And he looked so impressive in the Morgiana. That was, really likable. I know, again, he wasn't beating much and Willie Mullins had his normal target at it.
there, who's won multiple Grade 1s. I know he's a year older.
Charger's
He made him look pretty slow. He's finished second in 2 champion hurdles.
He's one of the most underrated hurdlers in recent times.
When he gets his conditions, he's mustard, isn't he? There was maybe signs in Leopardstown at Christmas he was starting to come under a ride a bit more, but they, omitted hurdles and things like that. Look, I remain to be convinced one way or the other with Statement. I didn't know what they were going to do with him. Ante-post, he was talking about going fence, he was talking about stayers hurdle. He could be a bit of a freak.
He's 12 to 1 on the Betfair Exchange right now. He's a big price. And again, if Constitution Hill doesn't turn up, he's 1.5 on the Betfair Exchange. So if you want to lay that, there's 123,000 in the market, so you can get matched. I just think Cheltenham, anything can happen. Look what happened to Shishkin last year. He was the banker.
Marc
Didn't even
has
make
got
a round.
Baid living rent-free in his head, just to give you some context.
I think
to that.
if you're,
he's so nearly pressed the A button for the champion stakes on this show.
If you're putting multiples on, I just think he's too short at 2 to 5. You're probably better leaving him out.
I thought John Bond maybe, but I guess fences, you never know quite what can happen in an Arkle, but he's, I don't know, but Fassar Vega at 5 to 4 already.
I mean, if you're on Constitution Hill at even money or bigger prices, okay, but 2 to 5 is too short.
If Fassar goes to the Future Champions Novice Hurdle, I think it's still called that, at the Leopardstown Christmas meeting, that he's won with Hurricane Fly and the likes of that, he goes odds on, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then you've got Marine Nationale, who I think is an absolute tool.
The Royal Bond winner.
I love him. I absolutely love him. And I still think Michael O'Sullivan, I think, is wonderful, but I think the horse did get him out of trouble there.
Because he fluffed the last, didn't he?
Yeah, he fluffed the last after he gave him the coolest ride ever, and I think he's an absolute tool, but I don't think we're going to get to see him again until Cheltenham now. I think he's getting put away and getting sent there fresh because he wants better ground, and apparently he's not the most robust. So if Fassar Vega goes and wins and he goes odds on, you might still be getting a better price about Marine Nationale. And I definitely wouldn't dismiss him. I think he's a machine.
He does look very good. I just wonder whether they might think about stepping him up in trip the more the division
7
goes
to 1 on the Betfair Sportsbook for that one.
He's unbeaten as
on
well.
Jet Powered, where do you think this? Do you think this straight to Cheltenham or another run?
No. There is talk about Tolworth for him as well. The Tolworth could be really hot. I mean, let's hope they all turn up. Authorised speed, we know on bumper form can't beat Fassar Vega, but he's looked the real deal, hasn't he? Including he won the Constitution Hill race on Saturday of the Betfair Tingle Creek meeting. He looks good, and Gary Moore thinks it's one of the best he's ever had. And Jet Powered could turn up there as well. So that's how a proper Grade 1 should be, isn't it, going into the festival? It's been cakewalk and it's been weak, so the Tolworth could be the one. Dan Walsh, one of our producers, comes on and says, N8 shorties are becoming silly prices. Flat kind of height. Obstacles make the difference, which should be represented in odds. A moan from our Leeds conduit up there, Danny Walsh. I don't know. Do you think it's just crazy reactions these days?
I look less and less at Cheltenham Ante-post markets now, and one of the reasons is that the betting is so competitive on the day. You get extra places and you get bookmakers falling over themselves to give you decent concessions. And like you're talking about each way in the champion hurdle, Marc, but it's a 5th of 3, isn't it?
At the moment, yeah.
Now, you in the case of the Champion Hurdle, you might actually end up with a 5-runner field, and you've got 3 places on State Man, and he's it's 1 to 4 and 4 to 1. So that might be a smart play, but you're tying up money for 3 months.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean,
there's a lot of fun to have in the meantime, isn't there, with that money? Yeah, quite right.
And yet you think about the chap who worked at Hendo's a few years ago, and he won $1 million, didn't he? You kind of think, well,
the man that went to the States. So what was his name? Yeah, brilliant, of course.
He had it off, didn't he?
Rainbow, wasn't it?
Yes,
Oh,
he was
marvellous.
disgusting, yeah.
Oh, listen, all right. But it is only 3 months away, and that's the first day pretty much done. Hugh Masson said State Man needs to brush it with jumping. We're seeing loads of chat going on. We'll talk about the Gold Cup a little bit later on. We'll go to the Wednesdays, and they're going to be now a good thing. Marc's got it all right, and all the views as well. But we must home back to Prestbury Park for the second race of the day. This is going to take some getting, this one. And before we do that, they're in my loads about this, and I don't mean to do it. There is a festive members club option out there for you. Should we get the VT up on screen? There it is. Look, stay ahead of the field. Get your first month for free. Just need to lose the link in the video description to find out more. I thought it was 3 months half price as well, but no. Subscribe today. Pay nothing for your first month. It's all there. You need it. Let me tell you. I mean, I couldn't do without RPRs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you're getting a month's worth of Racing Post digital edition, aren't you? There
Of the paper at 9 o'clock every night.
9 o'clock every night. So every night, the night before publication. So at 9 o'clock tonight, the digital version of this would be delivered to your device, and it's a brilliant reading experience, and you're getting that for free.
You can get the weeklies as well, can't you?
You get the weeklies, you get the RFO, you get the weekend. It's unbelievable value, that. I mean, I think it's the value of all time at full price, and they're always chucking discounts in as well. So yeah.
We're getting better at this QVC thing. You were the one that...
In
lockdown, we used to do it, didn't we?
The difference with us and QVC is at QVC you're selling a bunch of tat and trying to make out it's the crown jewels, aren't you?
Some faux pearls.
But you can do this genuinely, because it's such good value, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And all the big hitters are out there, of course. And a reminder that whatever the Saturday Sizzlers are going to be, Tom Single price-wise, of course, 6 p.m. in your members club as well. That comes out as well. We've got the roving reporters on track. We've got the stayers coming out to play next. So we've had the mares. That's done and dusted. Can we capture the excitement of that finish up the hill? There are some right old characters in here, Marc Hryhorskyj, and they're being backed.
Yeah, this race, Commodore was very short in the Betfair Sportsbook yesterday. It's currently 5.4, around 92. It was as short as 11 to 4. But the one I like here is actually part of the double, is Eva's Oscar. Run a big race, likeable grey last time out, ran on strongly behind Kim Bailey's Smart Does He Know. It's a 155 horse, handles the ground, stays all day, yards 17% strike rate. So how are we going to play this race? It's currently an 8.6 chance in the Betfair Exchange, around 15 to 2. We're going to have a £12.50 win. It knocks out a £95 profit. And we're going to back this in the 4-place market as well. So just around 1.88, so roughly around the 5 to 6 mark. We'll have a £12.50 on a knockout at 11, so cover our stake there. So bets on for Eva's Oscar. Ran a massive race last time out.
There you go, a massive race last time out. Likes it here. There's Commodore, I can see one of a couple of...
Very weak, and I think the long-term plan will be the Grand National. No form on good ground. I mean, bolted up over course and distance, but got £9 for that.
Donkey's years, and he came out and won this, although off £9 lower mark, didn't we? And
he is
notably
weak.
I
was expecting this one to potentially be around the 2 to 1 mark. But it's notably weak.
He was 7 to 1 when he won the race last year.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so there's the first leg of the dub, and Marc is on a dub as well, and Zophanian, who is very, very filthy.
A lot of late money for this one when we were actually at Cheltenham.
He was 80s, an eye catcher.
80s and a 22.
One of the bonuses of doing these shows on a Saturday, we watch the racing, pinpoint to try and tell you what's going on, look at exactly the moves on the exchange. He was on, it can't be Zophanian at one point, and of course that was over 3 miles. He's dropping back. So look, if you don't want to play in every race, if you don't want a big outlay, and you just want a small for a big return, there it is, there's the double.
He was too far back that day behind Annual and Vixus and nicked it from the front.
But they just won't get the trip, didn't they? But we'll get to that. That's Den Hogan's horse in our... Is it our last race, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that's the Dusart race, of course. Coming out, could Nicky Henderson bookend the card? We'll find out. That's our final race at 3:35. Does anyone else like Commodore?
Yeah,
Or are we against?
you can see him win just because it was so spectacular last year, wasn't it? It was incredible. I know horses lugging a big weight don't tend to do well.
It's a good
in this,
name,
but
Commodore.
Commodore's
isn't it?
brilliant name. You'd have thought it'd be taken,
It's a
wouldn't you?
brilliant name.
You know, when
Commodore.
you apply, you'd think, oh, well, I'd love to call it Commodore. And, you know, my great uncle was a Commodore or something.
The Commodores.
But
You might know someone in the Commodores.
But you'd think when you put it through that, you know, it had been nicked, wouldn't you? But it's a lovely name. It's a
It's a
brilliant
great name. You can
yeah.
go on the BHA website and type names in to see if they're taken or not.
Can you?
Will Carey, I often say this, when he first joined us a couple of years ago, he knew nothing about racing. We had to teach him. That was one of his favourite games to play.
What
Go
a way
in
to
and
spend
see-
a Friday evening.
What a way to
That's
do
all
it.
I'll do tonight.
Absolutely. He's supposed to be producing and he's either watching the football and doing that. I mean, and you wonder why the sound goes down and things like that. All right, it's on him.
But weirdly with names, Dave, sometimes you'll get a horse called Fred, won't you, or Jim, and you're like, well, how come that's not being taken? And
Who
oh my
is the
God.
stud? What's the name? Is it Normandy stud that called him, like, you know what I mean, like Martha and all that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
It's the Gosden, the pink colours.
Yes.
What are the very good names?
They all
Yeah.
had all
Arthur
the female.
and horses like that. Yeah.
What were those ones?
Fred was a good horse for Nicky Henderson, wasn't it? Was it Isaac Swade Simon?
Yeah, I was going to say
Fred,
double
didn't
green,
he?
it feels like.
Yeah, we're going to get on to names
Just search one there. Not too far. This name is available. Give me one for the future.
Not too. You need to get it because
It's amazing.
Mark is close to having a
Available.
trademark. Whenever he's got a winner, he'll send you a voice note and he goes, "Not too far, not too far."
I'd find that quite unnerving because I don't know about you, but
stream, yeah.
when Mark talks
It's
about
unnerving.
racing, I imagine I'm like I've owed a bunch of Glasgow gangsters money and I'm strapped to a chair in some deserted multi-storey car park and I can hear Mark looking at me going, right, when am I getting my money back? I'm like, okay.
Just don't look him in the eyes, Bruce. They're worse.
That's it. You've got till Tuesday.
It is. It's like,
The goat.
aye, the
gangster.
dolling, the
Here
dolling.
we go.
You got till Tuesday.
Oh, here we go.
That's it.
All right.
Exactly.
Is this the first
Exactly.
fence, do we think?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean, though?
The Don.
It's quite sort of. It's quite scary, isn't it?
We'll
When
get there
it's-
with your nickname. What have we had? The
jumped-
drone pilot,
drone
because when he used to
pilot,
come
love
on with
it.
his
Yeah.
little cans, he used to look like he was
I
doing
jumped,
the
I jumped
drones.
the gun last night. One at Chelms were coming around the bend. I recorded it and waited till he went 2 lengths clear and I pressed the send button to Dave just to make sure.
there was a
he
horse
had
that we had that was back from 7s into 5-2 last night and won like it was an odds-on
Thanks for
shot.
telling me.
Well, it was. He only reached out. I was at a nativity, and I came out to hear "Not too far, not too far." So anyway,
you played
there
that
we
out
are.
loud
So that's a
during-
good name. But let's just. The reason why I want to talk about names before we get back to this race, don't worry, is because you don't like the name Constitution Hill, do you? Come on, let's get it out of the way.
Exactly, yeah, we were having this talk earlier on about that Constitution Hill was just a perfect racehorse in every single respect. And I said, oh no, he's got one fault though.
Bar the name.
Such a boring name.
I like the name.
Constitution. You know where Constitution Hill is?
No, this
It's,
is why...
it's the road that links Buckingham Palace to Hyde Park Corner.
near here,
So it's
just down
one-
there.
Yeah.
We're very close to it.
When I did my half marathon a couple of months ago, the hilliest bit was Constitution Hill.
The hilliest part
Yeah,
of it is...
it
It
was,
is a
yeah.
thrill to drive down. Every time I come to the office, you know, I'm going down there. There's obviously one in the States as well, which is probably what Michael Buckley was thinking of, I imagine. Anyway, all right, back to this. Anyone with Captain Cattistock? Did you tip this last time?
No, I don't think so. Not
Guys,
last time. Tipping it this
someone
time
tipped
around.
it last time on this panel, and it's a right old monkey. It might have been Posty or someone like that. Stevie C comes on and says, "Sorry, Dave, it's not my muggy hacker. Hang on. I'm all over the muggy hacker. It falls in the first leg. Facile Vega goes Ballymore.
That's the other thing, of course.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
so much about whether they stand on stones or strike into themselves or anything. It's
It's
whether they
Willie.
go for the other race.
Willie Mullins bingo.
It's Willie. Oh my goodness. Stevie C's then. Facile goes to the Ballymore. All right, you're putting that out there. But don't we have that? I mean, that could have been the case with Constitution Hill, do you remember at one point?
Of course it could, yeah.
I mean, Kills was punting it out, wasn't he, for that? Because it was such a massive prize.
Commodore's very weak here. It's a 2-1 to
I'm
place
on the
here.
buzzer, by the way. I'm on the buzzer. The buzzer is under supervision. I was going to say superstition, looking at you again.
Very weak.
I'm under superstition.
He does that shit, doesn't he? Yeah.
This
very
is the
weak,
buzzer,
very
right?
weak.
If you look at these colours, this is the I like to move it colours. Oh, sorry, it's just been in my
Oh,
mind.
you can't not do it though, can you? He
Well,
gets that
since
every time he
Nigel
wins,
came
as
out
well.
and told the Jockey Club why the horse is called I Like to Move It, because it's his son's favourite song.
Which son?
It's
Which one of them?
Oh, I don't know, one of them. They love the song, and it's Madagascar is the film, is
Yes,
it? Right.
great film.
Well, anyway, they watched that and they called this horse I Like to Move It, Move It. Anyway, in these colours, ended the season terribly, like under superstition, and come back. This guy's got the best scope of all of these. I mean, Spirit of the Games, if that wins, fine. I'm jumping off the building. Who we've got? Captain Catterstock will think about it. Commodore's probably quite weak. Broken Quest can't have him. Dominateur is quite interesting. Marc, he's coming in for money for Nico de Bourneville as well.
Yeah, he's a 12-1 chance on the Betfair Exchange for Ben Paulin. Stable in form. Under supervision is very strongly around the 4-1 mark. Captain Catterstock 3-1. This one's been absolutely smashed. Obviously, the most notable drifter is Commodore here.
Almost off, aren't they?
Yeah, this one's nearly 9-4 now, just to place in the free.
Almost off. Bruce, it looks like, thankfully, we've got a full start here. Switch hitter, jump the gun a bit. Who do you like?
Well, I was on the non-runner, Naslam. I've jumped to switch hitter, but he's very uneasy. But anyway, they've jumped off. They're trotting at no great pace towards the first fence, and Dominateur, I'm going to get this wrong all the way around. Dominateur is the first one over from switch hitter, and then on the inside, that pair of lovely greys gleaming in the sunshine are Commodore, and on that one's outer Evers Oscar. So, can Commodore attempt to do what he did last year and pretty much make all and win this by half the track and go off at 33-1 for the Grand National?
He's hitting all the right notes.
Just coming through to take it out. Yeah, very good, very good. So that's once, twice, 3 times a Commodore reference.
Marvellous.
Any early market moves, Marc?
Yeah, Captain Catterstock went off, 3.98. It's currently trading 3-1. Not any massive moves here. Commodore's actually came in a little bit, went off 8.6 around the 15-2 mark, so that's 5-1 and running here.
So would you say he was easy in the market, Commodore?
Yeah, he was
easy like a Sunday morning.
Oh,
probably worse.
Easy like
Probably
a
worse.
Sontag. if I was going to say, if it's going to be this level of housery, I can't say the first word. I don't think I can cope today. That was very, very quick indeed. Not sure how mine's going under superstition. I keep on calling it Stevie Wonder sauce, but I am out the back at the moment and not going great.
And running on the Betfair Exchange right now. Captain Catterstock 11-4, 3.8.
There's nothing going badly, is there? I mean, Dominateur, having been prominent early, is going back. I wouldn't be too mad on that.
When you see a Twister's horse in a long-distance chase that's not near the front, you know it's probably not going well. They've only got one way of running, I think.
OK. Right, the 2 greys are at the front. It's Commodore from Evers Oscar, and then in third we've got Switch Hitter. A little gap back on the inside going nicely. Spirit of the Games, he's quite close up for him. And then in behind that we've got Broken Quest. And on that one's inside, we've got Under Supervision. And then on the outside is Captain Catterstock. And finally, not jumping very well there, is Dominateur. I'm not sure he will dominate this.
He's 100-1 now on the Betfair Exchange.
And Commodore, favourite, I would have thought, Marc, now, yeah?
Yeah, he's 4-1. Captain Catterstock, still favourite around 11-4. Eva's Oscars into 11-2, BSP 10.5. It's prominent where you want to be around here.
He's been called so many names over the years, Captain Catterstock. You remember when he went to Maxi, when David Maxwell had him, and he was supposed to win that Hunter Chase, and that was the start of the Maxi bashing, wasn't it, when he fell off in that day, I think. But Captain Catterstock is not an amateur ride, let's put it that way. He's a right thinker. And the fact that Liam Harrison, who rode him last time, was going right the way out the outside, you can tell why. He will warm up, and he will look dangerous at one point. Will he have the resolution up the hill?
He's 5-2 and running here on the Betfair Exchange.
Kate, what do you make of Spirit of the Games being so prominent on the inside, going quite nicely?
Yeah, no, he is. He's going well, taking the inside route throughout the entire way. But that's sort of what Spirit of the Games does. And he's just, as Steve said beforehand, he's a horse that I think a few people have jumped off quite a while ago.
Yeah, that cliff is still haunting me, I think.
Yes.
Switch hitter's interesting, Bruce. Charlie Post broke this one in like he seems to have broken everything else in that wins at the moment. And he's a bit of a monkey, this chap. I think they think he's got more to give. They just don't quite know where.
Oh, OK. Yeah, he's very uneasy in the market. So they're straightening up for... they're going up the home straight for the first time. Blazing sunshine. Thankfully, they are jumping these ones because, of course, they go up pretty much straight into the sun at Cheltenham when they go up the home straight. But still in front is Commodore. Still.
Still? Is that another Commodore song?
Of course it is.
What?
You've never heard of Still?
Oh, yes, I can... Still.
I love you.
That's
still.
The one. You must have seen Lionel Richie before, haven't you?
No.
Really?
No.
You're a big fan, I can tell.
No, I'm not. No, I love that song. But anyway, they're going out onto their final circuit. Commodore, 2 lengths clear from, in second place, Evers Oscars, who's going nicely for Marc. In third, going nicely, Switch Hitter. And then in behind those two, we have Spirit of the Games.
Commodore favourite now and running 7-2.
Commodore is sailing on.
Yeah, very good indeed. Now, we're just about to lose one out the back. Dominateur is being pulled up.
Has he bounced, do you reckon?
Yeah, he could have done, couldn't he? But the other 7 are all nicely clustered. There's only 3 lengths between them.
I mean, if Spirit of the Games wins this, come on. I mean, how low has he got, Marc?
If he goes and wins this, at least we'll all be in the same boat.
Because he is the eye catcher always,
92
isn't he?
running here. Captain Catstock's still favourite in running here.
Yeah, he's going nicely on the outside, Captain, isn't he? But, I mean, Commodore's going really well. He's been there and done it, hasn't he? So you know that he likes this particular race.
He sprinted up the hill. Now Catstock's just doing what he usually does. There's that flat spot.
Come on in, name the winner from here. Kate, you go first.
Oh, I think Commodore's the one to beat, getting into that jumping rhythm. He's not a horse you really want to hang your hat on by any means, but he looks to be in much better form. We know he goes well fresh, so he's in a lovely rhythm here.
Mark, you sticking with Evers?
Yeah, I think this one's going quite well. It stays all day. Be disappointed this one's out the place. Just made a mistake there.
What about you, David?
Well, the Veterans Chase that he was second in, Broken Quest, he's a strong stayer as well. Supervision's under supervision is staying in there, but this
Commodore's
guy in
opened
front,
up.
Yeah,
He's
this
opened
is what
up,
you want to see.
and he's 3 clear now. Hryhorskyj is still going nicely in second. Spirit of the Game's in third. Just being pushed along on the outside now. Switch Hitter, that's come under a ride. And then in behind them, we have Broken Quest. And then following those ones in is Under Supervision and Captain Catstock, who isn't my idea of the winner right now, but he's still close enough. Right then, so they're coming to jump the fence down the hill, and it is still Commodore in front from Hryhorskyj.
Yeah.
And these two have got a nice little break.
Yeah,
Spirit of the Games is
yeah.
very close, though. I mean, I know he doesn't win many, but I wouldn't like if I'd back one of the ones in front. I'm not sure I'd be too comfortable
Maybe
with
Sam
him behind
Twiston
us.
Davis is sensing he might finish now all of a sudden.
Any of these 7 can win, I'm telling you. Any of these 7 can win. They're
Catstock
just
coming back
coming into the home straight. And Commodore is only half a length in front of his fellow grey, Hryhorskyj. Captain Catstock is now closing on the outside. Switch Hitter's not done with. And nor is Spirit of the Games. It could be between these 5. They've got 2 to jump. Just about Commodore from Hryhorskyj. Captain Catstock looking very, very dangerous.
Spirit of the Games is finding.
Spirit of the Games is going up the inner.
Right, come on,
Marc,
It's 4 in a line. It's Captain
far.
Catstock. Here's Hryhorskyj though. Hryhorskyj takes it up. Spirit of the Games. Spirit of the Games. Commodore is hanging on in there, but as they jump off, Hryhorskyj's in front. Captain Catstock. Hryhorskyj. Can Spirit come past him? Spirit of the Games. Get your cameras out. He's going to win a race. He's going to win a race. Come on, Games. Come on. Hryhorskyj. Spirit of the Games is going to be so damn close. Hryhorskyj wins it. Spirit of the Games is in second and coming from nowhere to grab third. I think he's under supervision. What a brilliant race that was. 2 fantastic finishes.
There you go, 4 races today. We're building up the finishes. This is what you get here on Racing Post Live. And hats off to the GOAT, the drone, the Don, whatever you want to call him. Not too far, Alan, not too far.
Yeah, really good ride by Alan Johns there, BSP 10.5. It's quite a similar ride to the first winner. Lily Pension just sat off the pace, picked it up. I was confident jumping the last because this one stays all day. You'd be disappointed if you're on Spirits of the Game, but that one's had a lot of chances. We'll find out how low that one's went. That one's went as low as 1.51, so 2's on.
But that shows you what they know about Spirit of the Games, doesn't it? Because he should have been lower than 2's on in that finish,
somewhere in a pub somewhere tonight, there'll be a guy sitting in the corner with a pint and his head down, and the bloke go, "What's up there, Reg?" And he go, "I backed Spirit of the Games at 2's on."
So we've got a nice double as well. We've got the double first leg up.
The multi's on the move.
So we're waiting on the Dennis Hogan train runner at 11 to 1 for 1,500.
What's the charity, Mark?
We need to choose one in December. We've had, obviously, the Tingle Creek. We didn't have Barry on for that. We were wondering if you've got any love out there. Barry likes to open it up to the floor. Barry Orr, of course. Let us know what the December charity should be. Honestly, the Movember month. Barry did his own thing, didn't he?
Yeah, but he just went for a beard and everything. He just bypassed.
We gave us a stick about that. We saw him earlier in the week.
Awesome.
But they knocked it out the park for that. I can't begin to tell you. There's a large check going to the charity, Movember charity out there. So let us know, all right, what it could be. And the panel so far are doing rather well between them, aren't they? That's for sure. 2 races down. You've been given the winner of both. And the multi is on the move. See, this is why people like him.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, no, superb. Excellent.
Are you just blowing smoke because you're worried about it?
No, I'm massively. I want to keep on the right side because, like I say, that image of me in the multi-story car park won't go. And even after the race, you know, it's like all good gang leaders. He's just got this one tone. Like he just backed the winner. He's just smashed it 1 foot because it went to a short of 1.4, and he's straight there. He's just impassive, you know.
On to the next.
Yeah,
he is usually unflappable.
Brilliant.
All right, so we're off and running then. 2 races down. Still plenty of Cheltenham talk in between the races. Great to have you watching us. Don't forget, like and subscribe. That's what it's all about. Share it all about. That's what we want here on Racing Post Live in association with Betfair. We're back tomorrow. please, Lord, it's on. But if not, it's a certainty that ITV will do something tomorrow, isn't it? Navan's off, of course, but the very cleverly placed Newcastle card on both Saturday and Sunday. Although it's not always all weather, is it? Even that can go a little bit, can't it? But hopefully up there it'll be fine.
Who's on the panel tomorrow, Dave?
It is Danny Archer sitting in this seat. And
Oh yeah, because you took the day off to go and see Watford, didn't you? And then they switched the game to Sunday.
Yes, it's on TV. I'll be there in -1. Going like this. We're back. I'll tell you what, though, actually, if you want an Ante-post bet, I think we're a good bet to win it, the Championship. I really do. We have no right to be fourth.
Well, I'm on Burnley at 14, so
Solid.
I might have you as a Rod Laver then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah, I'm not sure what price we are on the sports, but Watford to win the Championship.
Yeah, I'd
but
do that.
we have. Don't forget the postcast. That's coming up. So I heard you recording that earlier. Who was on that today?
Me, DJ, and Keith Melrose. Yeah,
The big hitters.
and they agree on a 12-1 shot in the big race at Cheltenham tomorrow. Okay.
Ooh, the December Gold Cup. All right, so no teasing that. 3 p.m. that will be coming out. We've got What a Shout coming out for you as well. All that sort of stuff. But there you are, absolutely fantastic.
Dave, you're
scenes
11-1 on the Betfair Sports.
to win it.
Yeah,
That is monstrous.
To win, yeah. 11-1.
I'll have a little saver then. Okay.
Burnley,
Yeah, we're gonna back Bilic.
You got
And,
two places.
We've got about 15 injuries. They're all coming back, and we haven't known how to play as a team. And it's remarkable that we're fourth. We were 17th a couple of weeks
You
ago.
could back
Shows
it each way. A third of the odds, 11-1.
the
Two
Championship is
places.
crazy, isn't it? Mad.
Yeah,
Obviously, I've dipped my toes into that water now.
I don't really have to take much notice.
I still blame you for that. That was one of the worst sporting experiences of my life when I took Bruce into my Watford family. You and your son.
Honestly, Dave's seat at Watford is beautiful. He's got this lovely, panoramic seat in the restaurant, and you get all grub, and Wolf Rostron comes around and does autographs beforehand and everything. It's great. It's lovely.
Well, every game
Every
you can
game.
go to.
Home game,
Every game.
yeah.
He's such a good punter that he can afford that.
I was going to say.
I don't know about that. And my mate, John Smith,
Although-
extra smooth, gave you his seat, didn't he?
He
You
did,
had a nice
yeah.
bit of food, nice bit of wine.
Of course, we forget he was the bongo player in Basement Jacks, wasn't he?
I made all my
You
money
may
before
not
coming
have
to work for
mentioned that
Bruce.
You
before.
still don't believe that, do you? Or you have?
No, not one bit.
Yeah. he
Give me a
was.
pair of spoons and I'll teach you how to play.
So he
There
makes
you
so
go.
much.
If we get the like and subscribes up to 50 grand by the end of the year, I'll do a live little session for you.
Did you know
How's
that, Mark?
sound?
Don't know what.
Dave's
I heard the story.
Dave was the bongo player in Basement Jacks.
I mean, they've had
That's
several.
true.
We should just
I
say
don't know
that.
about that. I know he's a shrewd punter though.
Yeah, he's a shrewd
When you get the
punter.
message.
True punter, true bongo player.
I know, they like to make fun of me. But we lost 4-1 that night. And
Did you get one?
we got one.
Oh, did you?
I'm walking into him today. And when it went to 4-1, I looked round to Bruce, who was a couple down from where I was, and he looked at me and he went,
I was in the Watford director's box. Oh, he's in the director's box as
director's
well.
box and
Honestly, it's
everything.
so posh this, and so I couldn't really make a big.
and you and your son then turned around and were
Yeah,
giving it
okay,
all
yeah.
that, weren't you? But unfortunately, we don't have Wilf anymore. So, but how's that going?
What?
Palace, where are we going to finish? Because Vieira's done a good job, hasn't he?
Same as ever, probably
He's done a
like
good
somewhere
job.
between 11th and 15th. Yeah,
Well, I
very
thought you
good,
might
yeah.
go down. Do you remember we played you? Oh, we're digressing slightly. You are one of those heart on sleeves Palace fans, which I've got to know a bit more. And you go home and away. You love to cheer it. And when you came to us early in the season, that we went down and we beat you somehow in the cup, you were like, we haven't got a striker, have we? It's all doom and gloom. We're going down. You were at Mamma Mia or something that night. Do you remember? I offered you. I said you fancy coming. You went on going Mamma Mia.
What an excuse that is.
yeah. You told me you're at Mamma Mia. He's sitting with his feet up
Yeah.
with Reg having back spirit at the games at 2's on. But I don't know. They are doing a good. He has done a
Very
good job.
Yeah, very sound. Who's your team, Mark?
I support Hibs.
Hibs, brilliant, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the greatest sound human beings have ever made. Have you ever watched the video of the Hibs fans after they beat Rangers in the Cup? And there's 50,000 of them
I was
in
one of
Hampden.
them on the pitch,
And
yeah.
they all, you're on the. Oh well, we don't talk about what with the police fighting and the.
No,
yeah.
that was off before
That,
that.
Go
but
off the
after
pitch
the
for
police had calmed that down and you've been led away in handcuffs, they all sing "Sunshine on Leith" by the Proclaimers, and it's a YouTube
It's iconic,
sensation,
isn't it?
that
Yeah.
video, and you've got to watch that. It's the most uplifting thing you will ever hear, honestly. Brilliant,
doing
and you were
it
there
after
for
this.
that.
Yeah, 2016.
Oh,
I remember
my
I was
God,
just at the
honestly.
corner flag when the third goal went in, injury time.
I tear up whenever I hear it. It's the most amazing thing, isn't it?
Have you ever run on a pitch before?
Yes, I have once.
When?
After the 1988 playoffs. It was the first year of the playoffs, and the final was home and away.
Oh, yeah.
And we had Blackburn, and we went up, and I did go on the pitch.
Stuart Ripley days for Blackburn.
Yeah, I went up.
Oh, yeah.
Right and bright.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the only time. I don't like it now. I wouldn't.
Well, you're too busy in corporate now. You can't
Well,
get down to
no,
the
I'm
pitch,
not. My
so.
cheap seats. I don't like it.
I've got an abseiler just in case.
That's too far down.
I'm
for
in
you
row
to go.
6 at Palace, so I could get on
really?
quite
You
easily.
could
But I
get
don't.
on the
I don't like to do it. 'Cause
Ever run on a pitch?
Yeah, when Truro City qualified for the FA Vars final.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Is that right?
That's a great answer. You weren't expecting
I
that,
was
were you?
not. I mean, I should have
No.
known the Cornish Gallinair was going to come out there.
Is that your home?
Yeah, Truro.
Truro.
What's their nickname?
The Pirate. No, that's our rugby team. What are we? Because I
Oh,
don't
let's
know.
have a look.
I mean, I'd have. Come on, I'm a fountain of knowledge, but I'm not going to get Truro's nickname.
Truro City nickname.
It's now because they've changed their logo to a tiger for some reason.
Well, it's probably the Truro Tigers.
I've
then.
been
Have
to
a few
Truro.
quid on that.
I've
wouldn't
been
you?
You've
out
been
to
to Truro
cider in
City?
Truro. Yeah, I've been
No,
to Truro.
it's
I've got
a
some
great
friends who
place.
used to live down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great place. Yeah. No,
Beautiful.
we travelled with. It took about took like 5.5 hours to get up there on the coach to Wembley for the final. Won the FA Vars final. Brilliant.
Brilliant. They're not just any old Tigers. They're the White Tigers.
White Tigers.
How about
Truro,
that?
is it any good?
What? Truro City?
Truro.
I haven't got. Oh, Truro's a place. Wonderful. I
No,
haven't got
the
a clue
football
how.
team.
I don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know
You
nowadays.
gave up, or they
I gave
banned you
up.
for life after you ran on the pitch. I've done it twice. At Fulham, I ran on when Jason Lee, who used to play for Watford. Do you remember Jason
Yeah,
Lee?
of course,
Pineapple on his head?
Yeah.
He scored, and we went up, and we beat Fulham that day. Keegan, it was Keegan's Fulham. They were such a good team. And Peter Beardsley was playing for them. They were great players.
You
that
there
they
when
had.
Troy Deeney scored that goal after they missed the penalty?
Yeah,
Don't scratch your eyes.
Yeah, don't
That
scratch your
was
eyes. Yeah.
the greatest pitch invasion. I mean, I'm biased.
Yeah.
But what, I mean, that
Were you
was,
on for that?
Oh,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And that was all the way down. You know how they make like footballers run up and down?
Yeah.
The stadium. I was up and down like a lunatic, but we were on. Zola was under me at one point. It was marvellous.
Brilliant.
So look, yeah, there we go. We digress slightly. We've got what?
Slightly, yeah.
Slightly. Yeah,
racing.
all right. But we know you
Tenuous.
love it when Bruce is on. We're
Tenuous.
going to go on a bit of a journey. Right, Gary Troy brings it back. Let's get some anti-post chat. And how is the Gold Cup looking at the moment? I want to know what the seemingly shrew punter, be careful, he'll have you in the car park with Bruce, would be backing for the Gold Cup at the minute. Goat, go for it.
I like the home press. It was very impressive at Newcastle. It was 10-1, got knocked in at 6-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. Charlie Deutsch looking round, very comfortable, had an easy time of it. It was a good performance.
He loves a look round, Charlie Deutsch. he does it on a Monday at Hereford. He loves a look round. Yeah.
He looks the most solid option for me in around 6-1.
Do you like it when a jockey looks round, like as a punter? Do you know what I mean? Do you think, here we go?
Do you know what I don't like? Is when you've got two horses going along and one of them's absolutely under full drive and the other jockey is clearly just
Spencer.
taking the mickey and
Yeah.
just looking around and like, because and like you know they're going to win, that you know they're going to, but you're like, look, please don't do this to me. I'm very invariably I've bought the distances, but you just like get on with it. Don't
Yeah,
mess
yeah, yeah,
about. I
that's
just want to
why.
go, just go and win, all right?
Don't
Don't
go on
mess
this
about.
offering.
Don't
I
mess
think
about.
a lot of punters like it if they're on the horse that's looking round, right?
Best one was Sariska. Remember in Ireland, Jamie Spencer done a little wave to Fran Berry.
And when the
Remember
jockey
that?
gets it wrong, of course,
Yeah.
you never really
Yeah, I
forgive him.
forgot
Paddy
that.
Brennan on, what was the Tom George horse that came second to Many Clouds in the National? St R.
Yes. Oh.
I backed St R.
Yeah.
And we haven't got long enough to tell you the story, but Leighton Aspar, I've been with him 2 nights before at the London Racing Club, told me that Many Clouds was over the top.
Really?
And I'm up against Many Clouds at the elbow, and Paddy's going like
Paddy's
this, and I'm
looking
like,
around
I've got
for it.
this! And Paddy obviously didn't know what Many Clouds had left, but when a jockey looks around, Charlie Deutsch is the king of the look around at the minute. It is exciting, isn't it? Long press, then you think coming round, and he does it for the home turn, Charlie does.
Yeah, has
He's
form around Cheltenham
confident
as well. Obviously, on the Gold Cup market, Noble Yates, he's been probably the most notable mover, shortener. He was 100-1 start of the season. He's 10-1 now. I think he's sure enough. For
The
Gold
Many
Cup.
Clouds chase last Saturday is what Marc is referring to. The Grand National winner winning a Gold Cup.
10-1.
When did that last happen?
Oh, did you find this?
I
Did you
didn't.
find the answer
I
for this?
didn't. I should have gone back
tease
and had a
yourself
look.
up for this to find this answer.
I haven't really got time to go and do it all. So you let us know, who was the last Grand National winner to win a Gold Cup? Follow up in a Gold Cup.
That's
That's the next
It's
thing,
got to be
isn't it?
after, isn't
Got
it?
to be
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
Yeah, it has to be that way around. Because what horse has used the Grand National as a springboard?
Well, at one point you thought Tiger Roll might have a go at it, but that obviously wasn't to be. But it's a long time ago. This is probably the sort of thing that used to happen, isn't it? We should reference last weekend quite a lot, but Long Press Do we like the name Lompress? It's not the easiest to pronounce.
Yeah, 'cause
Lompress.
When are we getting your
Mark says.
thing about names?
We can do that after the next, I think, probably.
It better be
Lompress,
worth
do
it
we
because
like
you've G'd this up, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a
Give this the big build-up.
There is the cracking. It's the sort of thing people like to get involved with out there.
Okay, mate.
Best and worst named horses out there. Kate doesn't like Constitution Hill.
No, I feel like I'm more educated now on, because that's what I meant to do before I said this out loud.
This lady
I was
is
meant
for
to look it
changing.
up. I was meant to look up exactly what Constitution Hill was, and okay, that's quite noble as a name, but it's quite dull at the same time to say. Just for me, the best named horses are Ballydoyle horses. I love those. They're
brilliant.
just class. I
Although
mean,
they did have a bad genre, didn't they, with like was and if. No, it probably wasn't called
Ow.
if, but yeah, exactly. That wasn't
Yeah.
great. But most of them are fantastic,
Yeah.
aren't they? And the horses are good enough as well. That, you know, they deserve them,
warrant
don't
those.
they?
Tom Siegel, we should say, likes Lompress. I mean, he's always liked him, isn't he? It was his banker of the festival. And he actually, we did the Cheltenham Festival preview in here. Me, Kills, him and DJ. And he created quite a stir by saying, "What's your nap, Tom?" And he went for the RSA or the Brown Advisory now. And at the time, everyone thought he was going Turners. And there was that hoo-ha, wasn't there, about who was going where? Galloping and all that sort of thing.
The market could look different as well, because obviously you've got the favourite, Gamble Responsibly, is running on Sunday at Punchestown, the John Durkin. If he gets beat there, what price does he go out to?
Well, we don't think it'll be on Sunday, unfortunately.
Well, obviously we've got that
They're-
angle as well,
So,
but-
but when he does come
He's going
back,
to run at some point.
the vibe's coming out. I spoke to Patrick Mullins on Monday. We went to the Wars lunch, and I got a good 15 minutes with Paddy, and he was on great form. And seemingly they're very, very happy with him. But then, you know, I don't know. There's at 5-2. It does seem a bit silly, doesn't
There's
it?
a lot of assumptions about his progress. I'm not sure, and I'm still kind of, you know, we've seen so many next big things come and go, haven't we? And that's the trouble. I wouldn't go anywhere near 5-2. He could, of course, he can win, and of course you've got to hope he is as good as we hope, because we're in this primarily because we love racing, we love champion racehorses. But come off it, 5-2.
When he's Gold Cup records, wouldn't
I'd have to be on A plus tard. I was surprised, Mark, when you said 10s.
Yeah, he's 10-1 best price available. I mean, we're 7s on the Betfair Sports, but I think there was a bit of an overreaction after that Haydock run.
Kate, you're our resident horsewoman. If the trainer says he's come back and tests show he was sick, then that's not an excuse. They haven't got a stud value to protect, have they? So that's believable, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. That's it. I know you cover your own backs and everything like that, but Henry de Bromhead's a pretty open character, isn't he? And he generally gives us pretty straight answers, and he's not one that you'd say was ever trying to mask anything. And I mean, it was from the visual perspective, you could see he was never going a yard. There had to be something wrong with him, so he had to hope something was going to show up, and he did. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some sort of rivalry thing. Anyway,
Well, there you go then. If that's a plausible excuse. God, by the way, I'm getting very paranoid here because I can see on the screen when there's a shot of just me and Kate, and I look at her and nod, I feel like, you know, in Matt Hancock in I'm a Celebrity, when he's sitting next to someone and they're talking, he sits there and he's going,
You are
like
not
a weirdo, and I'm really conscious of not trying to like Matt Hancock.
No
I wanted to
way.
do lookalikes actually as well, because that's another classic. Never Brutes on.
Hancock
I liked because
So in case from now on, sorry Dave, I'm
You're not gonna agree with
I'm just
anything.
throwing you little looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
Shake
look
your
like
head.
Matt Hancock,
I'm
thankfully.
yeah, okay.
You don't give off Matt Hancock
Okay,
vibes.
good.
You
If
do
Norman
anyway.
Cook ever needed a body double, you're in.
Yeah,
Fat Boy
who's-
Slim.
was that
That was
yours?
me. I'm the plus net man. That was my one.
That's it.
Which is utterly ridiculous.
That
We
is
have to
so
find them
true.
for you two as well. I thought I had another one for you as well. Tom Holland, the actor.
Oh, Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah.
not-
That is Spider-Man.
What is Spider-Man?
That is
Hang on, Tom
Spider-Man.
Hollander, is it? Hang on,
yeah,
not-
that's
is
what
it?
he's
Tom
famous
Holland, I'm very pleased with that. What, like the 24-year-old Hollywood heartthrob?
Zendaya, yeah.
It has
I
been
didn't
said,
think I'd
yeah.
be saying Spider-Man,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah,
You've probably
thanks,
got an
mate.
outfit
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm
haven't
sick
you?
of that. I get that all the time. That's Tom Holland. Can I have a selfie?
Stop, yeah, absolutely. Stop it. Have you seen your running partner Enzo recently?
I did. I was out for a run last week.
Has he joined you yet?
No, he hasn't. But I was running up a little slope, and crossing the road in front of me, taking his little lad to school, was Enzo. And I went, Enzo! And he looked around, and Tony, and hi, how are you?
You are named
Doesn't
before
respond to
Tony Ennis,
Enzo.
of course. Looks like they might be thinking about doing something at Cheltenham. What are they doing? They're covering the chase track, of course,
they're
aren't they?
covering
Because
them.
we're done.
Done.
Now with the chases.
Did
We've got
say that was
two
gonna,
handicap hurdles coming your way. 1 over 2 miles, 1 over 2 mile, a 3 as well, I was going to say, at 3:35. Just looking at that SP, there is Eva Zoska to remind you, beat Spirit of the Games. Oh, man. Imagine being Harry Skelton coming in and gone, Brother, I've tried
I've done
everything.
everything.
That's
I've
fine.
done
You can't.
everything.
You can't.
And he's
do
a great
much more
money
than that,
spinner,
can
isn't he? You know, he runs in the best racing spirit of the games, and we love these characters. And under supervision, who just wasn't really on a going day yet, but I bet they get him to build on that at one of the smaller tracks next time out. There's the market then for the 3 o'clock. We're 10 minutes away from that. So Gold Cup tips. Let's keep going now. You're definitely going to give Applutard another chance. At
Yeah,
that
definitely.
price.
If he's double figures, absolutely got to. I mean, it's win only because he might have bottomed out from last year's Gold Cup, but I'm more than happy to have a little friendly tenner at 10-1 and hope that he comes back because it could look a ridiculous price.
There could be some flyers in the race yet. Noble Yates, that was a burst, wasn't it, Noble Yates? He must have spiked quite big, I think. We obviously covered it in here, but I can't remember what he went to. It was something like 14-1. He was the gamble, wasn't he, for the Many Clouds chase last Saturday, and he didn't half quick enough.
It's the old phrase, and it looks like he's just jumped in. I mean, it was absolutely crazy.
And at Cheltenham, that's no bad thing, is it?
No, it's not.
He didn't fire in the Ultima, but that was his debut for,
Still learning to ride him and everything,
I
wasn't
think
he?
if you do take him, if you back him at that price, you could end up come March holding a slip that is worth absolutely.
Natalie
nothing.
Green's got
couldn't you?
66s. A few big judges put him up at that sort of price, didn't they? But it's a flyer.
Yeah, those sort of prices.
You can throw 10 darts at the board and one will
66-1.
land, and he's a definite dart for that, wasn't he? Marc's on Long Press. I must admit, I think Long Press is the solid one at the moment. I wonder where he goes next. I hope they don't go to the Argento or whatever it's called now, the
Why?
Cotswold chase.
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
It's a tough old race. I don't want a bottom out race, really. Not
Oh,
really.
don't be.
That-
Get him
that
out
is
racing.
I
Get
think
him out
that's the
racing.
worst one.
Don't come on,
I think
Hendo.
that's the worst one. Well, funny enough, I think that's what they're planning to do with Long Press. If you read the big jump off, Kills was actually the first one that said, I'm worried about this jump season. He used Long Press and their connections as the example because they'd already mapped out 3 potential races for him. I hope he goes for the Denman chase. You know who else could be going to the Denman chase? Could he yet be a flyer for the Gold Cup? Whisper it, Shishkin.
Yeah.
I know you did a sort of lot of people doing the eye rolling thing.
He's
If you watch up in the
25-1.
ante,
Eye roll emoji.
how good has our old school judge, the new judge on that, Johnny Deneen been?
brilliant,
Doesn't
isn't
hang
he?
around, does he? And he said, if ever you've seen a busted flush at Shishkin, he actually said, we did a little pilot sort of play around for that before the first one, which never went out. And he said 2 horses to follow. One of them was Authorised Speed, which he's got right. This never went out. And the horse to take on was Shishkin, and you could hear the sort of ooze going around. Is it a busted flush?
I wasn't, I'm concerned about that. I know so many people, I am the most forgiving person. We've talked about that with Plutard and Honeysuckle, but for me, the other day, just from the word go, we knew when he went to Cheltenham, he didn't even canter down to a start with any enthusiasm, didn't jump off with any enthusiasm either. And again, I felt like we got the same at the weekend from him.
Did he have to be trotted up at the start?
Yeah, he got kicked by Gentleman Demi down at the start there. But again, that's
Excuse,
just...
couldn't it? But
Hendo loves one.
Yeah, exactly.
are you saying that they could just say, look, it might be this horse has to have further, so we'll up him in trip, and he could turn out to be the horse that Altiar was never given the chance to be.
Even in his Supreme, he looked like he was busting at one point, and then he took off.
Yeah, he did,
if you
didn't
go
he?
back to the Clarence House chase, Energumene, looked like he had it jumping the last. Everything about him as a 2-miler suggested potential kicking king, that sort of Gold Cup step up, war of attrition sort of horse. It's going to be fascinating to watch, and I think we'll see it in the Denman chase. I hope Long Press goes there.
25-1 Shishkin. I think that's short enough for what he's shown.
What a mad game this is,
Yeah.
that Shishkin, after jumping that Clarence House in front, is now gone. It's just crazy, isn't it?
It's gone, isn't
Talk
it?
about bottoming out horses. So Shishkin, is anyone going to keep the faith? We had Jerry McGrath on the week before Cheltenham, said it had all gone well, we didn't know, but they were always thinking, like they've said about Constitution Hill going over fences, this one could go up. So it could yet still be alive, that dream for Shishkin. That's the Gold Cup done. We'll be talking about the Stayers Earl and the Ryanair and the rest of them, Champion Chase in particular, coming up after this next race. It is the penultimate race of the day, and Marc Hryhorskyj, I really ought to give you the floor, because the GOAT, you have got the double.
Yeah.
The second leg, it's alive.
Yeah, we're waiting on this leg here for a big double. The market's not looking too great here, especially from this stable, notably weak. I like Zoffanine winning place, and that was a solid run last time out at Cheltenham at the Paddy Power meeting. Off 137. I think Dial King's he's still on board. I think there might have been a jockey change there, but no complaints on that. This is
He's uneasy, isn't he?
same sort of race as last time out. I think Mullenberg's short enough, in my opinion. This one's been done odds on a few times. Hurdle form, I think this one's overpriced. It's currently 21s on the Betfair Exchange. I looked at the notes, it was 10-1 on the Betfair Sportsbook. So we've got this one in a double. What we'll do is, I'm not going to go off it, we'll back it £12.50, 262.50. for the win. We'll back this in the 4-place market as well. It's currently 2.66, so roughly around the 13.8, 7-8 mark. It was a big eye catcher for me last time out, and was notably strong just before the off that day at Cheltenham. Expecting a big run. I'd be disappointed if he's not in the 4 here.
Well, okay, we've had 2 races, a third coming up, and the GOAT is on a hat-trick. And Zafanian, like I said to you, if you just joined in, we were talking about this horse earlier. We were on the show when it ran
Paddy
last.
Permian, yeah.
And he did catch the eye for a long way.
The front, it's Annual Invictus won the race.
It was around about 2, and he stole it to a certain extent, Annual Invictus, didn't he?
Couldn't get in the race. Handles Cheltenham. I think this one's massively overpriced. There's 20s on the Betfair Exchange. We'll take a place at 13-8.
All right, you have been told, and we can see him in shot there. And there has been a jockey change. It's Mr. Marine National that's taken the ride.
It's Michael O'Sullivan. Yeah, the student who got the big call up then.
From Barry Connell.
Yeah, for Barry Connell, which is brilliant. And I mean, he looks a really talented, really confident jockey as well. I swear, though, if Zafanian goes and wins this, I will be angry because I tipped him up last time out.
I'll be delighted.
He was the only one. I know, sorry, I will be obviously delighted for you, Marc.
The car park awaits you, Kate. The car park awaits you.
I know, yeah, exactly, yeah. The spinning chair, yeah, in there. But I will be. He was the only horse that ticked all the trends boxes for that race. And when he was just staying on in the finish, I was just thought, oh, God. But yeah, off the same mark again here. He has to have every chance down in trip then. He's a horse where it didn't go well for him over fences. He's a bit of a soft character in that sense. But at the same time, he's a horse where he loves hustle and bustle of handicap hurdles, where he almost loves getting into trouble and it almost kids him into it. So I can see him going well in a race of this nature for sure. But I am... Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a saver on him anyway, aren't I, for that. But yeah, taking on Mullenbeg, I mean, she was confusing at the start of the season, wasn't she? You thought she was just going to take off and take all of her bumper form forwards, but don't know exactly what wasn't right about her. But it's all come good, but she has still got that blowout potential, even back at a track.
Well, Milton managed to somehow get a very well handicapped. This was a crack mare sort of bumper, you know. In that sphere, she was very, very good. And she flopped on her first 2 starts. She was turned right over,
be it 2 to 13 and be it 8-13.
But
yeah,
she's
she was
ascending
very well
handicaps on 108. If you'd have told me that last season, I would have just, it would have been a milk bottle, 20 quid every week in until she ran in a handicap. She was that good a horse. This historically goes to a horse in form, Bruce. Have you got one of them, or have you got, like Marc, a bit of a sleeper?
I've got 2 friendly who I thought... I'm a massive fan of Cheltenham form at Cheltenham. I think it's such a funny track that if you run well there, I think it means a lot. I know Johnny Deneen says that's absolute nonsense. He doesn't have that at all. He just says a racecourse is a racecourse. But I thought, look, it was 5th in the Fred Winter. What?
It's just a
racecourse.
racecourse.
About that.
No, you're right. It's what he said. You're right.
If I ever do a stand-up, can you come? If I'm getting laughs for he was 5th in the Fred Winter, this is easy.
Well, you wouldn't want in there, would you?
No.
I'm your man, don't worry.
Take my wife. No, but anyway, Fred.
I'm dying here.
It wasn't a bad 5th in the Fred Winter. It doesn't look like the greatest Fred Winter ever, but
Brazil come out and won since, and Gaelic Warrior was decent.
Could be a supreme horse now.
I just think this is yet another difficult race, and you can't really, go too mad on anything. But I just thought I always trust a Skelton horse. I don't know.
He was the eye catcher of the day that day. I remember in the Boodles for the analysis team. They always put up at the end of the meeting. If you go to the results, you'll see star performer and eye catcher. And they got a cracking strike rate. They very nearly won the Naps competition.
One of my best inventions, that wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. There you are. You're the reason why I had to hang around for half an hour going through the results every day.
Yeah. You're the reason my working day went up to 4 hours.
Absolutely. And then I got on here.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, great stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, but he is interesting. He's just a 4-year-old. I actually watched back that Members Club. You can do that. I watched back that finish. He kind of... Winner got first run, didn't he? And he kept on quite strong. We would... On Racing Post rating suggests that marker 1, 2, 3 is about right for him. But this is his sort of ground. The Cheltenham form is there. I agree. He is quite interesting.
Big price, 6.4, 11-2 on the Betfair Exchange. Definitely overpriced. I'd rather be on that one each way than 3.3 Mullenberg.
Yeah, all right.
Price perspective.
I can't remember. Did I put Zavanian up as well? I might as well. They're in the gallery kind of going, you should know what you put up.
Well, yeah, that is a good point.
I was umming and ahhing with my two. I did send over my selections. Eontac, how do we... Is it Lontac, Eontac Cheval? How on earth do we pronounce this one?
Eontac Cheval.
Eontac Cheval.
Eontac Cheval.
Okay, all right. Eontac Cheval. I think I got it right first time I'm asking. And again, at Warwick last time, it really looked like a horse that had a lot more to offer. It looked much better than 114 horse, which is what it's running off today. There's a bit of money for it. It's getting weight all round. Warwick to Cheltenham, no problems there. And Sean Bowen is on. He is just mustard, isn't he, Sean Bowen? And he will do for me. I think that and Zavanian were my two shouts, actually.
Lively Citizen was definitely interesting. But obviously that one's a non-runner now, so I'll probably put that one in your tracker.
This is odds on, look. This is odds on.
Yeah, they're dolling here. They are definitely are, yeah. Iontak in Ireland, wonderful, it means. So wonderful horse.
Wonderful horse.
Irish and
Wonderful
French.
cheval. A bit of...
Nah, that's not going into my list of good names.
Wonderful horse is a nice name, isn't
But
it?
that's
Gaelic
you're mixing your Gaelic and your French.
I think it's Gaelic.
Iontak Cheval would not be a Gold Cup winning name, would it?
No, it
Too
wouldn't
Friendly
be.
would be a great name.
Yeah, it's
And
Gaelic, yeah.
Gredley's named theirs as
Iontak,
well,
wonderful horse.
Punctuation is a good name, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is...
The Queen used to own Punctuation.
Correct,
Yeah.
absolutely. She doesn't have badly named horses.
No, she
either.
doesn't.
She didn't
That's
have
good
badly
ones,
named horses,
yeah.
I should say. The
Oh,
King.
sure.
King
Great
looks like he's got a pretty good horse, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Yeah, with the Gosden thing that won at Kempton. Was it Kempton?
Yes. Is it Slip of the Sun?
Slip
Slip of the Pen?
slip of the
Could
pen.
it be named after
Yes.
the famous...
That looks very good,
Oh,
that
yeah.
horse. Wow,
Inauguration,
I
yeah,
thought
'cause
that
when he
looked
went,
very...
we thought-
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Someone's
that
been
was
bit
funny.
mischievous
Yeah,
there at the start.
Yeah. Perhaps the King's got a sense of humour. They're going to
We
have
need
cheeky
him to have a
names, eh?
decent sort of like, you know...
For racing, for that royal
Yeah.
patronage of racing to continue. Can you imagine if the King has a classic winner next
Yeah.
year?
Oh,
That'd
that would be
wouldn't it?
amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think we'd love that. So they are dolling off some flights here. Kate, which did you like in the penultimate race here on RP Live?
Punctuation, I guess, to hopefully continue this good run of form then for him. But this is a race I did find the trickiest of the day. I know he only had 4, so I can't exactly sit one out, can I?
Ground?
But this would be the one. Yeah, that's going to be the concern on this better ground than with him. But I think he has more to offer. The tongue tie has just really seen him to a much better effect. And now, 3 from 3 since joining Fergal. Of course, he has to prove himself around this track again. But
On
I
flat
think,
form, he could be better than 1-2-1, couldn't he?
yeah, exactly. That's it. But I don't really take sort of flat ratings and flat form over jumps as gospel by any means. But I just thought Mullenbeck had blowout potential. Any
Yeah, I
harm in
agree.
asking, I wasn't overly keen on. I mean, Oakley.
Being punted.
Yeah,
isn't
even
he?
though
What's he
He's
famous
yeah.
for? Come on, let's get this out of the way.
Any harm in asking? Oh, he said the
Only horse to
first
beat
time.
Constitution Hill.
That was it, yes.
In his point-to-point, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he was lucky though, wasn't he? I think
Yeah,
there's a video,
Constitution
isn't there?
Busted
That
the
was in the
last.
Tipperary
yeah.
point-to-point, wasn't it? But listen, still means he's...
4.2 on the Betfair Exchange is very strong.
Tom Siegel put this up, of course, in price-wise, so
did.
that's a lot of support for this chap, and it's these Gay Smith colours.
I'll tell you who's been backed as well, Mark. Rouge Vif.
Yeah, a bit of money for that one. I mean,
He's
that
been
was-
back. He was 50, wasn't he?
been
Wilders
next
put
in
him
Harry
up
Whittingham.
last time, didn't he? Do you
Imagine
remember?
Rouge Vif winning.
Yeah,
25.
well, he
He
is
was lovely horse back in the
potentially
day, wasn't he?
Back with Harry Whittington. I think
Here we go, we're off.
He's had all sorts of breathing issues. Oakley takes them off then, Bruce.
2 miles and 1 furlong, the hurdles, and they run into the sun for the first time, and that's why there's no hurdles in the home straight. So I think they're probably only jumping 4.
Do you think this suits the favourite with its
Why?
bumper form? Mullenberg.
Yeah, it could do it. I suppose it could. I always try and work that out and never get an edge with it. Oakley, who doesn't need sunglasses, despite
Very,
nice
very
leader.
good.
he's in front.
He's skiing.
Rouge Vif is second and taking a keen hold. In third, we have Zafanian for the double. Go on, Zafanian. Then Perfect Myth is in fourth. Behind that one, and they're not going any pace at all particularly, is Iontak Cheval, the wonderful horse. Too Friendly is behind that one, and then Any Harm in Asking, and the final 2 are Mullenbeg and Punctuation, but they're really not going any pace. Kate, what have you seen that catches your eye?
Nothing, really.
All right, thanks.
You're
Gonna be a long
welcome.
race.
Well, it is very much leisurely stuff at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
No movement on the Betfair Exchange right now. Mullenberg's 11 to 4, 3.65. Any harm in asking 4.13 to 1. So no major movement here.
Rouge Vif, he's come into sub 20 now.
Yeah,
Rouge Vif,
20s
I mean,
now, yeah.
he's the sort of horse who, if he won, everyone would be like, oh, Rouge Vif.
I know, him in here, yeah.
Change of ownership now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're crawling here.
Yeah. I think now 28 miles an hour is not very quick, is it?
Oh, I wouldn't trust that speedo every single time it says 28 miles an hour.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, oh, well, now
So
it
it's
doesn't.
30 now?
As soon as I've now jinxed it. But honestly, we say it every time we're in here. It's
Okay.
28 miles an hour, no matter what race it's in.
Yeah.
Dave, have you got anything to add?
I'm looking at Zavanian, and sort of like I say, I'm looking for Iontak as well. And I think I'm very well placed at the moment, wonderfully placed. Here we go. It's a flight, everyone.
Oh, that was a hurdle.
Hey!
Long run to the first, wasn't it?
And actually, punctuation clouded it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at that ground away from. Look on the far side of the old course.
Yeah,
Wow.
away from the course, it is
Frosty
really,
stuff.
really white. Yeah, it's going to be a cold night in the Cotswolds. Let's hope they can race tomorrow. But they're racing here for our penultimate race. And I'd say they're probably not too far from the halfway mark. And it is still Oakley in front, with Rouge Vif on that one's outer. On the inside, we've got Zafanian going very nicely. Fourth place just about belongs to Perfect Myth. On the inside, Too Friendly going nicely. And then with the red hat, you've got Punctuation. Behind that, you have got Iontek Cheval, Mullenbeg, and who's the other one I haven't mentioned? Any Harm in Asking. There you go. Actually, you'd say Iontek is not going wonderfully well. That's the first one off the bridle. And it looks like, I presume his market price is reflecting that.
He's 100 to 1
something
now
not
on
right
Betfair
with this.
Exchange.
He's
I think
just
he'll
had
have
a
a
little
P next to his
tap.
name.
The rest of them, though, are very closely clustered. 8 runners. One just starting to get a little detached. Mullenbeg, maybe? What do you
He's
think?
niggling that one along.
Very
there.
confident Johnny Burke is, I think, on that. I'd go with that one. I'll tell you what,
He's all
Too
about
Friendly's
speed,
got
isn't she?
really got a strong handful there, Harry
Yeah.
Skelton.
He's actually settled pretty well for him.
See
Too
what, though,
Friendly.
the old Rouge rolling back the years here. He's going very nicely as they
surprising.
head down the hill to what is actually the final flight,
Here
I
we
think
go,
I'm right
then.
in saying.
Punctuation.
Oakley, Rouge Vif on the outside going nicely is Punctuation. In behind those being
Mullenbeg
roused
for
along there is
sure.
Perfect Myth. On the inside going really well is Too Friendly. On the outside coming there now is Mullenbeg after I said it couldn't possibly win. So there are probably 6 or 7 in with a chance here.
Gonna be a bit of
Who's going to
weaving.
win it, Dave?
I think probably, I don't know, I think the closer's coming. Any harm in asking with Mullenbeg?
You
Too
want a
Friendly
horse that's
last off the
got a turn of
bridle.
foot?
Yeah, any harm in asking's going well. Marc, who wins it as they head
I
into
think
the
winner's on the
straight?
inside, isn't it?
What, Too Friendly?
Yeah, it's got the flat speed,
They've
isn't
got
it?
to go round the outside.
Come on then, Brucey.
Punctuation is in front.
Come on, Punctuation.
hits the front, and then Too Friendly,
Paddy.
and behind that is Oakley.
Oh,
it's
is he gonna get
Punctuation
bumper
and Too
speed?
Friendly.
Is
It's
he
going to be
gonna
one of
stay
those
on
It's
two.
Millington
Punctuation?
Tracey
It's
again.
Punctuation from Too
Come on,
Friendly.
Punctuation.
Punctuation is a length
Go on,
clear,
Paddy.
and as they head up to the line, it's quite simple.
Paddy.
Punctuation is the best horse in this race. Full stop.
Hey, happy days. I was going to say, keep it to the point. Lovely stuff. Too Friendly in second. I'll tell you what, you've come out second best with Kate. It's 2 races in a row now.
I'm the second best one in this with your 2 quits throughout this entire thing, and your puns are just on point for punctuation.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they're better than my horse tips, that's for sure. I'm not even a sniff yet. You guys are on fire. Marc, I think you were done. I think you were gubbed by the lack of flights as a feign, and he found it all too sharp back over 2
Yeah,
miles.
he's ran on again. He's just been done for fourth there. But yeah, the writing was on the wall coming around the bend. I mean, the winner, and they came on the outside, got first run. But yeah, good ride from Paddy Brennan there, aboard Punctuation. And good one by your man here as well on the winner. But Mullenberg, I think the distress signals were out for that one, maybe about 5 furlongs out. Was niggling along Johnny Burke. That was a BSP 3.85. The winner 6.4 around the 11 to 2 mark. Punctuation.
Considering that he clouted one of the hurdles that we jumped,
Yeah.
and they've ridden him with confidence. They know he's got huge action. This only came 19 days after his return. He could have had the potential bounce over as well. He's 5. He's by a Dan Silly. He's bred to be group class on the flat. He's a marker 121. He goes up near 130 now. Get another win into him. All of a sudden, you're dinging for the county, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you are, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It was a good run, and given how close they were when they turned in, they were actually fairly spread out, weren't they, out the running? The first 2 have gone, well, the winners won by 5 lengths. They're
You were a
way
bit
clear.
unlucky there, weren't you? Because you cruised into it.
No, I wasn't unlucky.
Well, what I mean is to bump into one like that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
sure, yeah. He's beaten the rest. Oakley, who cut out the running, has actually stayed on really well for 3rd. So, a funny old race. They didn't get into it from behind in the end, having threatened to look like they were going to.
Yeah, the market leaders came there, didn't they, after
On the outside,
last? And
yeah.
Any harm in asking, only ran 5 days ago. I wouldn't give up on him at all. He might just want to go back up in trip now, I think. Mullenbeg, probably 9 days ago.
I thought that would have all suited her, that setup for the race as well. They haven't gone quick, and she is all about speed, hence why I just doubted her over this. But without the hurdles, I know it turns it into more of a stamina test, but the fact that they haven't gone mad, you needed that tactical speed for the weaving between hurdles, but she was under pressure from quite a way out there. Johnny Burke, you could see, was having to have his hand forced by getting her into a good position, so she wasn't caught out with the weaving between the final few omitted flights. But yeah, she had the blowout potential. That's the way it's transpired. But that big action on Punctuation, I mean, he's got the most ungainly way of going about his business, hasn't he? But it's so effective.
Are we looking at an Al Dancer here who won this race a couple of seasons back? He then went on to win the Betfair Hurdle when it was switched to Ascot, and he went off 9 to 2 for the Supreme.
Oh, yeah.
So it can be done in this race, is what I'm saying. It's the white face that makes him so fascinating, and it is literally like someone's got a great big dollop of Dulux and just gone like that on him.
I want to know more about the ungainly action. I mean, you know what I'm like. Dave will tell you. They all look exactly the same. They're all the same
Horse
size,
looks
and
like
they
horse.
all run. What do you mean by an ungainly action?
It's that knee lift on him. We spoke about it beforehand, that the quicker ground may be against him. So you see just how high
He's
he lifts his
pounding it,
knees.
if you're
And
if you're
it's
wondering.
exaggerated because he's got the big white legs as well. So naturally, it looks as though his legs are moving in a more sort of tractor action, I'm going to say, sort of the way he ploughs through the turf. But you see sort of his stride rotation, how long his strides take to come around, and his whole cadence is just, it's so exaggerated that he should suit more testing conditions than what he's got here.
Can you see
that?
this?
Can you
Well,
I
look
really
at
want to
his
see-
action.
Oh, you see where
That
his
is
knee
a
is?
grabbing
Look how
action.
close his knee is to his
You've heard
chin.
about the
Can you
daisy
see
cup,
this,
haven't
Marc?
you?
In
Do you get
comparison
this, Marc?
to Friendly, say.
I thought the winner was quite game. Too Friendly in second. I was quite unlucky just to bump into that one. 1.6.
He has got the action.
So he's
though.
like
Watch him.
Stormzy, you're saying? He like when he does that
Did he?
knee lifty stuff.
Punctuation is the
Crick walks
Stormzy of racing. And I'll tell you what, I would wager that the best named horses in that race have come 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I like it.
Punctuation,
Oakley.
Too Friendly, Oakley, and any harm in
I
asking.
used to look after Oakley back when Hobbs.
He was a Hobbsy, wasn't he?
Did you?
Yeah,
What was his favourite
before he was
snack?
named. Oh, what
It's
did
a
he have?
forerunner field, this, isn't it? Polos, apples,
forerunner field.
Carrots.
a pick of grass or carrots.
Yeah.
So I remember him because I had to clean out his water bowl every single morning because he disgraced himself in it every day.
What, he weed in
Every
his
day.
own water?
No, worse. In his own water. Every single day I had to go in, get the marigolds on, and scrub out his water drinker, his
tell you
automatic
what,
water
Kate.
drinker, because he was a genius.
What is it, like a trough?
No, it's like it's a really neat little thing. It's so you don't have to do it by hand with buckets because modern, and it was an automatic little water drinker, little system, and as soon as they drank it, it would automatically fill itself up, fixed to the wall, lovely little bowl there, and he decided to park his bum on it every night. And
You were doing that while Lily Pincher was winning the Lady Corbett Cup and all that
again,
sort of stuff.
the way our careers went.
Marvellous. All right, there you go. All right, so we're 3 races down. We've got 1 more to go. 3:35 comes up, and on ratings, the classiest animal of the day goes in it. Dusart Henderson took out the first race. Can the stable land the last? But there is your Betfair SB, as advised by Kate Tracey on the panel. She's on a hat-trick going into the last race as well. It's not just all about Goat Boy over there. I'll tell you, I'm on a 0-4 at the minute, and I'm off this weekend as well, so I've got to improve somewhere.
I'd give Zoffin another chance. Step up and trip, running on. Just nearly got 4th. I'd give that one another chance. Maybe
I
stepped
have
up
got
a
a
couple of
nap
furlongs.
running tomorrow though, and I'm going to give that now. And it's actually in exactly 24 hours' time. This horse will have won.
Ooh.
I'm
Is this,
hoping at Cheltenham. I
Sam-
think Twisters is going to have a double tomorrow
It's not Simon Pearce.
at
No.
Cheltenham. It's not Simon Pearce's horse. No, I can't give you a mark for this one. It's personal. I think I like to move it. Win the international.
Ooh, he's taken on effort.
Very good name.
Bullish.
I like
Yeah.
to move it.
I
Right.
love the fact they play the song when he comes into the winners' enclosure at Cheltenham.
There you
Do
go.
they?
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
superb.
good.
Croatia nearly scored there.
And we've got the football on
Wow.
there as well,
Hello.
just to entertain us.
Yeah.
Croatia, Brazil has started. He's 9-4 tomorrow. Ish, I like to move it. But one of the best named horses in training runs in the following race. We've all been caught.
Do you like that?
I absolutely love it. I think
Why?
this horse is going to be. I just think we're going to. It's just a brilliant name. We've all
Why?
been
I
caught.
hate those names where it's
I
like
love it.
It's JP
5
names,
different
aren't they?
words with no
brain
space.
Because we've all
figure
been
it
caught at something. We've all been caught.
Speak for yourself. What have you been caught for?
Well, no. Don't think it's the worst of the worst. Hand in the cookie jar, anything like that. We've all been caught, right? And we've all been caught. Who is going to relish the step up in trip? And I think he's a brilliant name. They bought him to be a Gold Cup horse, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Gold Cup named winners, so let's have them. What's the worst name of the Gold Cup winner you've ever had? Even Lord Windermere was a good name. I'm not talking about the level of the form.
Don't think it's a good result though. But
And Devo comes along, it's Hugh Massey who comes along and says, there was a greyhound syndicate, love this, called De Golfin.
Dog-golfing, yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's very good.
Love that. Very, very clever
All
indeed.
show you've been promising this great name story, and then you turn up and it's that.
I love it. We've all been
Okay,
caught.
fair enough.
Look, you don't have to love it. This
No, I
is
don't,
You
I don't.
don't have to love it.
I just don't like
You've
those
obviously
names.
never been caught.
I don't like those names with.
Yet.
I
What,
don't
you
like
mean
those.
like 4 words in one?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
they've got
like
to
them.
fit them in, haven't they? Any harm in asking would be one of those.
Yeah, I
isn't
don't
it?
like them.
I liked it.
Okay,
Any
I don't
harm in
like.
asking, I like a
Do you
lot.
remember the reaction I got when I wrote that French names are no good for us?
Album photo.
Do you remember that? I did a column and I said
rings a
that
bell.
there's
What was
too
this?
many French horse names and they don't resonate with punters. Punters in betting shops like, you know,
Unlike
Dave's
Air
boy.
Horse One.
That was a
Devo.
brilliant
There you
name.
are,
That
Devo.
was a
I knew you were
brilliant
coming
name.
up.
That was very, very
Hugh
good
and
indeed,
Devo
yeah.
leading the charge then with the names so far. I've asked our social team for a couple. I didn't turn up along with you to the Christmas party, and apparently we're called alcohol free.
Oh,
Says
yeah,
Jamie
absolutely,
John
yeah.
Bon
That's a
Philbin.
good,
That was a good
isn't it?
name.
Lovely
wasn't
name,
it?
yeah. Her pet name, because I watched that, what was that programme called? Horsepower.
Horsepower,
Did you watch
yeah.
that? It's
Yeah,
quite good,
really
wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
very good, wasn't it?
her pet name is Alki.
Yeah, Alki, which is great.
They all have pet names, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there
And
any
Sam
plan
H
to have
comes
another
on.
series?
Sam, good to have
I
you.
don't know, it was good, wasn't it? I enjoyed it.
Very good, yeah.
Oh,
Well done.
hang on a minute. American Horse. You must have seen the video.
Oh, this rings a bell.
What about the one the wife knows and the wife doesn't know ran in the
Oh,
same race? That
yes.
famous YouTube video.
Fantastic. They're all out there.
Yeah.
There's some very, very clever
Neck
names.
and neck, final four, and the wife knows, the wife doesn't know.
What was the one
Yeah.
that
One
caught
of the
out
best.
Rachel
So
Casey
weird.
on
Oh,
RTV very famously?
are we allowed to say it? Norfolk.
Norfolk and Good, of course.
Norfolk.
That was
Norfolk
So
and
you've had
John.
Suffolk, and,
Yeah.
Norfolk and
Yeah.
John.
I
Suffolk
don't
and
like
Good.
that. I'm going to tell you.
You think that's a bit too
It's
underhand?
pathetic. It's just puerile, right?
It's not pathetic.
It is. It's puerile, right? I once, when Chris Evans did the Radio 2 breakfast show, they had this slot where he would talk about something on the show, and then the next day they would get a guest on, and he didn't know who it was, and he had to ask questions and find out who it was, right? Anyway, one day he's talking about the Racing Post. So BBC ring me up and said, do you want to come on this thing? I didn't know what it was. Do you want to come on this thing and talk and be the person? And Chris Evans has to ask you questions and try and guess who you are. So I said, yeah, all right, I don't mind doing that. Anyway, so I turn up. And I'm sitting there, and they said, oh, by the way, there's a change of plan. It's comic relief or something, and James Corden's going to be doing it, and not Chris Evans, right? So James Corden comes and he starts going, yeah, what do you do? What's it to do with... I gave him a couple of clues. He goes, oh, horses. He goes, I always wanted to have a horse called Hoof-Hearted, because it'd be so funny to hear the commentator going, Hoof-Hearted, Hoof-Hearted. And I'm sitting there, oh, God, grow up, fat man.
I've got a Corden story. I took him to Ascot once.
It's better than mine.
Definitely better than yours. I took him to Ascot once because we were in the same acting classes when we were kids.
Oh, you have done me there. Yeah, you've done
We
me.
were. And
You've done me.
James used to want, oh God, how long you got? James was the right character. These were in his these were in his Fat Friends days, and we were very close. We were dating sisters. Right, so he was going out one night.
You've got double dates with James Corden.
We've been on many a double date.
Yeah,
with
this
James
is
Corden.
brilliant. This is
I've got some photo evidence
Something
somewhere to
new.
show. Oh God, shall I get the boys to the photo? Anyway, so yeah, I've got a couple of Corden stories. I took him to Ascot when they had the long walk hurdle. Used to be on the Friday. Is it still on the Friday of the card? No, it's not. It used to be on the Friday. And Barracuda beat All Loire. And we went. It was freezing. We both had cigars. We thought, when was this? This sort of in about 2003, 2004. Took him there and he went, I'm not sure about this. I said, James, come on, you'll love it. Let's go. And we went down there, suited and booted, whistles on. We thought we were the absolute dons. We had a couple of £100 in our pocket. And I said, we've got to put it all on one horse, just one horse. Who is it? It's called Barracuda. And Barracuda, of course, was one of my favourite horses, and it won. But you remember how he used to race Barracuda? He'd drop himself about 12 lengths out. Anyway, so we went and put it all on. We went down the line, and he was 11 to 10 against. He should have been odds on. The ground was thought to be unseasonably quick. I remember speaking to some bookies about it, and they were like, we don't really want to lay this, but there you go. Anyway, Thierry Dumont has set out the back, about 20 lengths back, and he goes to me halfway through, he goes, you prat, what have you done? And he was like, all the money's gone. And I went, no. And he goes, you told me there's no such thing as a good thing in racing. I said, but there is, Barracuda. And he comes, you watch that replay, he comes, and he won by about 20 lengths.
Wow.
And James could not have got to the bookies any quicker. Cigar went flying and all that sort of thing. And ever since, I think he's actually, he's loved racing ever since.
I love that, mate. What a
There you go, there is a
story.
story, there you go.
Was that before Gavin and Stacey? Was that before his
It was
breakthrough?
around about those days. Gavin and Stacey was based on the family of the sisters we were dating. The Welsh.
way.
Yeah, he went to a wedding in Barry Island, and all the characters were there. And him
Wow.
and Ruth, they got
is
together and
brilliant.
they wrote
It's
it together.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that was.
It's like your Lily Pinchon thing. Your career's going different ways, isn't it? You know.
It didn't end well. Like me and
You and
Betfair
James.
Jacks, it didn't end well. He didn't give them any royalties, and he sort of sacked off the girl, and off they went. But they all lived happily ever after.
You've
but,
had
there
the
you are.
Bongo James Corden story double now today. Very honoured.
There you
I've
go.
received both of these
That's amazing,
nuggets.
Dave.
and all.
Wow.
There you go.
No.
And here I am. I mean, you talk about career trajectories.
Yeah.
Every time I look up at a billboard, I'm like, Gordon! I'm
Curse you, Corden.
It's like when Ricky Gervais is in that film and he just sees all his like enemies have become president. And all that
Wow,
sort of
that's amazing,
That
Dave.
is
Anyway, so there
really
you
good.
go.
Well done.
I haven't spoken to him
I
in
hadn't
many a
heard
year.
that
Oh, I
but,
hadn't heard that, no.
Yeah, there you go. So two
Like an
Corden stories
onion,
there.
many layers to you.
Well, there you are. We've all got them, I think.
story.
All
I
right.
honestly thought I'd win the Corden story off, but you absolutely butchered me there.
I've been saving it up for anyway. That is a true story. All right, okay, we've got one more to go then. Keep the names coming, all that sort of stuff.
Barracuda also.
Barracuda was in
Unbelievable
them.
name.
What a name,
He
yeah.
got lucky there,
Unbelievable
didn't he? The Marquise of whatever she was, Peter O'Sullivan's link with JP, the Marquesa of her first goal was the other one, wasn't it?
Moratora or whatever.
Whatever
Yeah,
it
something like
was.
that, wasn't it? Yeah.
First goal and Barracuda was the double deal, wasn't it? What a pair. First goal, brilliant name. Yeah, exactly that. Okay, there we go. Welsh national for Hryhorskyj, I'm hearing, by the way,
I was going
Marc.
to say, he went for that
was-
last year, didn't he, and pulled
That was
up.
your leg double. 16s and 33s on the sportsbook. I'm doing a job for you.
Yeah, I thought she was very game today. It was Oscar. It's a good winner.
It's a he.
He.
I'm
One of those.
always fall into that trap with Hryhorskyj.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they've got a girl's name, you think
There you
And
go.
again,
That's the
that's
one with the
annoying,
stripe.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Darren's Hope
I don't
or
know.
Jeremy's Flame, both mares.
Well, I don't know yet. No, I don't know.
And they-
Like
and they got
Sally,
boys'
Sally's. I don't know. Like, I don't know. What's the Oasis song?
Don't
Sally.
look back in anger.
What's the? Yeah, Sally.
Look back in anger.
Look back in. Is that the one where he sings about Sally?
Yeah.
I ought to know this. I'm terrible with all that sort of stuff. Great with Corden stories. Terrible with as you heard with Commodore earlier. I didn't realise they did Zoom as well. By the way.
I didn't say Zoom.
No, but they did Zoom
No, they
as well.
didn't. Fat Larry's band did Zoom.
Well, I googled it as you were through it because you were outdoing me on the Commodore thing. So when you were commentating, I was like, well, I'm
Zoom,
not being
what?
done on
As in
this.
Zoom?
That's what I think. Yeah, it's Zoom. It comes
Fat
up as a
Larry's
Commodore's.
band.
Google's got it wrong. As
Don't
have I.
trust Google.
All right, okay. Dusart. Are we to Dusart or against Dusart? Marc, you're on a hat trick of sorts.
Yeah, Dusart leads the betting 3.65, roughly around the 11-4 mark. And also you got Nicky's other runner, Captain Morgs, 5.692. Personally, I actually wanted to place late Indefatigable. When I was looking at my notes last night, it was this one was around 11-1. It's currently a 22-1 chance on the Betfair Exchange. Tailed off last time behind Dan Skelling's Proshima, meaning that form doesn't look that great because that one was tailed off behind Paisley Park and champ next time out. I mean, the price is too big now. That was my selection in the 4-place market, 3.4. What's this one in the? She's 4-1 in the free. I mean, could she bounce back after that last run? You know what? You don't have to bet in every race. I think the price is too big, so we're going to leave it alone. I probably want to be leaner around the.
You're
64
worried
mark.
about the drift on this?
Yeah, I think that she could potentially bounce back.
If Max Vega taught us anything in the St Simon Stakes, Kate, it's
Yeah.
never be afraid of a drifter, isn't
That's
it?
Be afraid of a
Because I want to layer.
Yeah,
And I
laying
don't
at
want to layer 22
3.7
in a 4-place market. Yeah.
fun,
So
is it?
that's my point. You can only back her at that price, can't you? Because it's just a silly price.
But I wouldn't back her, so I'll give the floor to use if you want to maybe Dutch 2
Well,
in the
Kate,
race.
you're on the hat trick, so come on, one for the charity that we're about to choose.
We'll take one each.
Yeah, I don't know. I was saying this to you earlier on today, didn't I? That I don't know if Dusart's the best bet of the day or the worst bet of the day. There's going to be no in between for me. He's either going to come out of this and look like a potential Stayers Hurdle candidate, or this has been an afterthought from a rerouted handicap chase campaign, because he was being talked about the Coral Gold Cup originally, and it was all chasing prior to this season. It was all right. Dusart has so much more to offer over fences. He's still running off of a feasible mark, and the fact that he's had this wind operation, he's had a back operation since we last saw him as well. You kind of start to think this may just not have gone to plan for him, and they may want to be
he's
easing him in.
10-11 to finish in the free here.
I don't know. I'd rather just back him to win or nothing for him, because he should be better than these. He's off of a £5 lower hurdle mark. Maybe they're just taking advantage of it, but for me, he's either going to turn out to be a potential lurker in the Stayers Hurdle division, or this just is a way of easing him into the season.
There we go. All right, I've just
You're
dished out
welcome.
a photo of James Corden and myself.
Oh, tell you what, you look.
on my I look
if,
a lot
If
different.
I'd looked at that and said which of these is going to be a Hollywood superstar and which of these is going to be sitting next to that moron from the Racing Post on a Friday
It's fair to
afternoon.
say he's had some help.
God, he looks ridiculous, doesn't he? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was on my
me.
30th birthday in London. Anyway, I just wanted to back that up a little bit because I think I've got a feeling it's
a
going to
true
clip
story.
up this. It's a true story. Anyway, all right.
Have you still got his mobile number?
I
in your phone?
mean, I've got 2 of them, but I think he's got about 20 of them, to be honest. So, I don't know. Yeah. It all went anyway. Yeah, it all went slightly south when we got married. My wife didn't really want him to come to the wedding because he We hadn't spoken for a little while, and she was like, I don't want James, if he comes, as everyone will be clicking him and all that sort of, which is fair. And you know what?
And he might be rude to one of the waiters if...
exactly. Yeah, no, exactly.
Or air stewardesses, he's got a little kink in him as well. Don't click that, Ben
Once you read that about someone, then they just
that's it. You
they
show
go
them.
down a stone.
That's a shame, isn't it? He's always been a bit marmitey, James, but honestly, he's a lovely man. Family are lovely.
You can't be rude to waiters.
Do we really know that happened? I don't know.
Well, yeah, he admitted it.
It's usually a good judge of character. People are rude to waiters.
Yeah, how they
interact with waiters.
They are.
It's
it is a no-no, isn't it? You're right.
Isn't it? Yeah,
We've all been a waiter at some point, and
That's awful.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
I remember I was at lunch once in Canary Wharf with a guy who'd come in to do a bit of marketing for racing at quite a high level. I won't name him, but we were in there, and he ordered the tuna for starter, and we were in a restaurant, and it came, and it turned out it was just this piece of tuna, and the guy said, he goes, no, it's the wrong colour, and the waiter said, sorry, and he goes, no, I'm not eating that, no, send that back, and the chef came out brandishing this piece of tuna, and he says, sorry, he says, what's wrong with this? And he goes, it's the wrong colour. He goes, well, what colour do you want it to be? It was getting like John Cleese, what colour? This is tuna, what do you expect it to be? But anyway, it was all very awkward, and I was with the chef. I'm secretly like, go on, you give it to him. Yeah, of course I am. It's just rude.
Yeah.
Have you ever been called out by a chef? Yeah, no, I don't think I
brilliant.
ever have.
Chef to come out.
I loved it.
Yeah, like you see in the films where who's this with the knife and all that
But
sort
it's
of thing.
probably better that the chef comes out and expresses his unhappiness with you in person. Otherwise, they take silent revenge. You don't know what's going into that plate.
Or they send back the waiter or waitress, right, and go like, you go and have it or whatever. You feel terribly sorry for these people, don't you? You must never have a go
don't be rude to
serving
waiters.
person.
It's awful. It's a horrible thing to do. Another good judge of character, I think, is someone's Uber rating as well. I think you should have to put that on your CV when you go for a job.
Yeah.
I think it'd be brilliant. What's your Uber rating?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't have Uber in True
No, I do, but I don't know. No, we don't. To be fair, we don't have.
Upgrade.
We don't have it.
They definitely don't.
I use it when I'm down here. How do you find that out?
On here, I'm 4.9.
Oh, that's exemplary.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it? Oh, no. What's
That's
your Uber
really
rating? I
strong.
don't know. That's
Went
called
down
me
actually,
out.
4.85. I must
Go
have
on
said
to the
something
menu
last
at the
time I was
top.
on the session.
Hang on a
Yeah,
minute.
4.79.
I think Two-Star wins, by the way, if
Is that
anyone's
good?
curious.
4.79 is good, yeah.
4.85.
Oh, why
That's
is Mark's
your
higher
Uber
than
pal?
mine?
How do you find
Two-Star's
out
been
your
absolutely
rating?
smashed here, and at 2 to 1, 3.1.
2 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
this is going to outclass this lot, guys. I think.
We've got another late defector, haven't we?
What's your
Flight
views
deck.
on Captain
Flight
Morgs?
deck's
Yeah,
out, and
flight
John
deck's
Joe's got a really good record in this race. Not today.
Dave, what's the line on Captain Morgs? Anything?
They always fancy this horse, and I think they fancied him at Kempton last time. He got beaten by a stablemate. Will he stay? They've got the cheap pieces on. If you're a Captain Morgs fan, I very nearly went for Captain Morgs because I know he's going to be there or thereabouts. But a little bit like Spirit of the Games, I think he's become.
Is he a
Not
place
quite.
late at 6 to 4, 2 places? Could that be the bet here, 6 to 4?
But if he didn't have the cheap, his second time off a wind up, which we like,
Okay.
and he's got pieces, and he is a bit of a thinker, I think.
Right, okay.
Whereas Dusart's first time wind up, and he's going to have a chasing target in mind, isn't he? Could he still be a bit of a flyer, Dusart?
Potentially.
He's won twice over hurdles before. He beat Soaring Glory on his debut, a Betfair Chase winner, who's sort of found his level now, but at the time was a rock and roll novice. And the time before that, he found it too sharp at Aintree in Grade 1 company when he'd been off. He had a terrible injury, Dusart, at home. His chest was nearly ripped open when he collided into some barbed wire and stuff like that. It was an awful injury. They didn't think they were going to get him back. And he's done remarkably well to come back, but people have called him a few names because they thought he was going to be the next Sprinter Sacre at the time.
Which
So
race do you think he goes for at Cheltenham?
I wouldn't really know, Marc. You have to see, because I think they were trying to get him back over the Cold Gold Cup. They didn't want to go there without a prep run. The ground was going to be lively enough, although here he is running on good ground. That air run, it was very, very brave run. And he beat Sounds Russian, who we know is a bit of a win machine. I would like to have seen Sounds Russian go a little bit better if I was thinking he was going to step up, but he can definitely take this. This would be the classiest horse to run in this race in the last 10 years. Not a lot of horses have carried 150 in this.
Okay.
Anyway, there you are. You can see all the money's coming from him, I think.
He's got form behind the home press as well.
I mean, as good as
Potential Gold Cup
Brazos
winner
is,
as well.
he's got to give the weight to that, hasn't he? I mean, Indefatigable, I think, is interesting.
Yeah, why is she going for this and not the mare's hurdle tomorrow? Is that because of it being off, or do they think? I mean, it looks a
Cheltenham
strong
Festival
race,
winner.
but yeah, she's great.
And I thought she would run a lot better than she did on her return at Weatherby, but she went well for a long way in that. And she's a horse that can tend to warm up. I mean, Paul Webber, first time out these days against some of the biggest stables, you wouldn't know, would you? So
no.
I think it's a free one here for Rex England. I can see her going well.
She was very disappointing, I thought.
You want it, and you want to lay her.
She's just too big a price, though. She was maybe
What
around
do
6
you
to
think
4.
she was going to be?
I thought she'd be around 6-4, 11-8 in the 4th place. I would have laid that, but she's too big at the moment.
Annual
There's only
Invictus.
7 runners now, of course, isn't there?
It's too risky, isn't it? Those 3.
Did you like winning this?
Oh, thanks for asking.
That's all right. That's what we've been talking about waiters and waitresses. We've been talking about James Gordon.
I know. Well, I've gone for a chaser going back over hurdles as well, but it's not the favourite. I've gone with Shantou Express. You inadvertently, you weren't copying him, went with the Paul Keeley selection in the first race in that one, and I have shamelessly copied Paul Keeley and gone with Shantou Express. No, I haven't. It's not shameless at all. No, I think this horse has got enough in his hurdle CV to suggest he can run well at a decent price. Dusart, you've got to accept Dusart could come out and win easily, but I didn't think there's too much else to worry about. And when you were getting 8 places, when there was 8 runners, you were looking good. Actually, there are still 8. What am I on about? I'm scaremongering. There are still 8 places.
Big price Shantou Express. He's 26. He's on the Betfair
That
Exchange.
Worcester form is what Keels has looked at.
I thought
I think.
each way, 3 places, 20-1. I thought it was half decent.
I would have him ahead of Uhtred in the market, who was an ex-Joseph O'Brien and Gigginsdown horse, one of those dispersals.
See, I actually thought he could be quite big as well.
He hasn't shown a lot, though. It's like they've either got a plan with him and they're trying to get him down a little bit. But I wouldn't have Maxi in this, I don't think.
Jatalouis.
Tom's tipped Maxi, hasn't he?
Do you think he's a place lay then?
Has
David
he?
Maxwell?
Seagull's tipped Maxi, I think, yeah. On
Wow.
Jatalouis, is that how you say it? That's a
Jatalouis.
horror, isn't it, for a commentator?
She will dig you out, of a hole on this. So Jatalouis is the one. Think about it phonetically. Jatalouis.
Tom's gone for 2 here, Jatalouis and Brazos.
Yeah, see, Brazos, you look at it and you think, why? And obviously Michael O'Sullivan has come over for John Joseph Mercy, a horse that had some back class in his day. He's running off here a mark of 1:16, and he's got a top racing post running a 1:24, so plenty to play with. And the Irish coming over to Cheltenham. I guess that's where Tom's looking at it. I'm not totally sure whether he'll stay, but I doff my cap, of course, to that. Annual Invictus is the one. We're either staring a gift horse in the mouth here, or it's going to come last.
I think he's going to get a freebie. If he gets taken on, you
He
expect.
can be a sulky sort of horse. I remember it was maybe Fences that did that to him. I remember at Plumpton one day over Fences when they fancied him, and never went a yard and then ran on when it's all too late. He's become one of those.
Yeah, I think he's a horse I can't trust. I know that he looks as though he's got the solid Cheltenham record because he's 2 from 2 at the track, but he's
It was
a horse
a great
where
ride last time.
It was, yeah.
Because he
but
just took the
overall-
ball by the horns and said, if no one's going to lead, I will. Control. A few flights out like we're going to have here, and he just kept going.
Do you know if Robbie Dunn fought in second, Fontana Lisi? I'd backed that a saver on it. He was very confident.
You're doing a Dave Orton there. You're getting this, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're pulling the reins.
Robbie Dunn was looking round, but couldn't catch the winner. Saved a bit Tom Cannon up the running.
Jatalouis, apparently in the Balinese language, it means beautiful teak.
Wow.
Sam Hart's been
So
very
we had
quick on
wonderful
that.
horse and then
And a
beautiful
Beautiful teak.
teak, as in the wood.
Jatalouis.
The wood.
I'm assuming so.
If he's tough as teak, he's got every
yeah,
chance.
tough as
That's a
teak.
massive Alistair Down phrase, tough as teak.
Tough as teak.
He loves all that.
which was a fantastic.
Have we got
morning
time
night
to
race.
get excited about the football tomorrow, by the way?
Yes.
We're all excited about the
I
football.
want to know
Yes, we have.
your verdict, so I do want to know
Yeah.
your verdict.
What do we think?
I think it's the match between the 2 best teams in the tournament.
Is everyone playing?
I think it's the moral final. No, there's only 11 can play.
Have
each
you backed
team.
France?
I'm on both of them.
Are you? Have you
France
backed
are my-
England?
France are my biggest green, but I think England
You've
can
backed
win.
England?
Yeah, I think they can.
What's,
Yeah.
is this Bruce Millington I'm talking to?
No. I think they're good. So I think it's going to be a really exciting, interesting game, and it could come down to luck, but I just about go with France. But I think whoever wins it may well go and win the final.
That's how much England have changed over the last
Yeah.
10 years, isn't it? The fact that you are thinking they're actually fairly
A
well-run
good team,
professional model
well
now.
run, good manager.
Yeah.
You know, they're together, aren't they? So what about you, Dave? What's your score prediction?
I've got a feeling that we're going to get through. We've got a Villa fan and why are people calling for Jack Grealish all the time? I don't know if you can play Foden and Grealish against France.
I'd play
You
Grealish.
would?
Grealish is better than Foden. Foden's overrated.
Ooh.
He's not. That's not to say he's not a very good player, but he is overrated.
Both have horses named after them. Super Jack, Milton Harris's, and Foden, of course,
Yeah,
was in
Foden.
Richard Hannon horse, wasn't it? I think for Midland or something like
So
that.
what are you going for,
I will go for England.
Okay.
I think we'll do them.
Kate?
Oh, God, of course I have to go England.
You don't.
Have
Do
to.
what you
I
like.
do.
Why?
I do.
You can say what you like.
Because I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm siding with England. Maybe we should side with France too.
Let's ask the Scotsman in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all know what my answer is. 101. We'll go for France.
Do you want France to win?
Of course, yeah.
Why?
Of
I
course.
have to.
Why?
It's the default option, you
This
know.
is a guy that ran on the pitch at Hibernian. You know why he wants it. Look, the car park awaits us all.
I know, and of course, you know which film they all supported Hibbs, don't you? Trainspotting.
Of course.
So he'd be like Begbie, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Who's you could be a train spotting character
Yeah.
if I looked hard enough. I'm too scared to do so, of course.
From a price perspective, I think they're probably around the right price, 3.1 England, but I think there's more value in Holland, and I think Morocco are a massive price at 5-1.
Yeah, I like that.
What's the Brazil score at the moment, guys?
0-0.
0-0.
Croatia, again, they're 7.6. If they nick one, you never know. They're a big price.
One of the greatest of all,
Nothing
Modric.
up front, though, is there? Nothing up front.
All right. So that's still to come. Good luck, England, tomorrow, of course. That will be after RP Live. We come back tomorrow with you around about 1:30, I would imagine. Let's hope it's on. What do we think tomorrow?
I just don't know. I mean, I would be worried about the fact they haven't had the covers down, so if the frost gets in tonight, it's going to be a problem. But I'll tell you one thing's interesting, isn't it, is the juvenile hurdles. You've got those 2-3-year-old hurdles, and probably shouldn't be up against each other, should you? You've got 9 runners in one, 6 of which are declared for both. So, you know, it's going to be complicated.
We need to get a bet on for this one as well. So we'll go with Bruce's, and we'll stick another one on as well.
Ooh.
Kate, Dave, which one we're going to go for in the last? We'll Dutch 2 in the race, okay?
Ooh.
We're going to go Shan 2.
Yeah, we'll have £12.50 on this one. And which one do you fancy?
I'm Dusart. Yeah.
I'm Dusart as well.
Oh,
so
good. That's
top
okay
one
then.
from the
That's
bottom.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay, we'll have a £10 win on Shan 2, and we'll have 15 on the favourite, okay?
Oh,
We'll Dutch it, all right?
excellent.
Okay.
Job done. We'll take Shan 2 Express. That's one we want, though.
Does anyone like anything in the December Gold Cup tomorrow? Just
Yeah,
before
I
they go
like 3.
off. Go for it.
Stolen Silver, but he's probably my least fancy, and he's the shortest price of all of them. Fugitive and Storm Control are my big 2. Storm
Fugitive
Control.
is a bit of a thief, isn't he? And
Yeah, absolute
but he
thief.
will love the
He's a
trip. He's one of my 2.
Yeah.
I think that Frero Bamboo is a near nap tomorrow.
Panda's favourite
He wants
chocolate.
the trip.
What about you, Mark?
I think First Street's a big price tomorrow. It's around 10-1, 9-1. It's a big price. It's probably my best bet tomorrow. Win, straight win.
I'd be pressing the lay button on that.
Cool. Excellent.
20s?
Rocking a hard place. I don't know.
I'm going to be just not messing around too much, just back Epperton. If she wins at 6-4, everyone's going to be like, oh, why does she go off at 6-4 to beat those 4?
I think Constitution Hill's price, if she bolts up, it'll shorten up even more.
Probably, yeah. Any excuse.
Blimey.
We're seeing the clerk of the course. She's got a walkie-talkie.
Oh, I hate it when they've got a walkie-talkie.
She's got a walkie-talkie.
They're
Walkie-talkies
considering
make me
another hurdle
nervous.
there,
Are they
probably.
thinking
Are
of
they taking it back out?
undolling?
Undol.
Oh,
De-dolling?
right.
There's no sun.
De-dolling.
They could be, couldn't they? If
Come
the
on,
sun's
D-doll.
gone down.
Indefatigable.
There's a lot of late money for it.
It looks like you're going
That's
to
the
lead,
shortening.
Bruce, on Shan 2.
Indefatigable.
Righto, mate. Let's hope he leads all the way. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Do you think they're going to
Yeah.
jump off with it and only jump... Well, it's a 3-mile hurdle, this, isn't it? So they'll probably jump 6 or something, won't they?
Brazos is very strong in the betting 7-1.
Yeah.
Bit to find for me.
That starter must be cold, mustn't he? He hasn't got
Oh,
a
no
scarf
gloves.
or gloves and a fairly kind of lightweight coat. For
Spare a thought
most
for
racing
the,
coats are
spare a
heavy.
thought
aren't
for
they?
the flagman. Look, he looks like an old...
Oh, he
Looks
looks
like a tick man,
freezing,
doesn't he?
isn't he? Yeah.
Woo!
He's in a... Yeah, he's in
When
a
you
world
see
of
the
pain.
old course there, though, you know what an effort it has been, and we should all be
yeah.
so
Which we
thankful
should.
they've done so well.
Exactly,
haven't
and
they?
yet they slag them off all the time.
Yeah.
They can't do anything right. I'm not saying they never make mistakes, but the amount of grief people get. I mean, you know, Kirkland Tellwright, the amount of grief the guy gets. I'm not saying
He's
he
the
does
Clark's
everything
Clark,
perfectly.
isn't he? We say that all the time. He trains them.
Yeah.
Just and what does the average person on Twitter in their living room in some concrete jungle who's never looked after an
I know
allotment,
this
never mind a
gets your
race
goat.
course?
And Barry
What do
Orr
they know
always says
about
that
it?
Haydock has its own microclimate.
It does, and,
That's
the
one of
weather
his famous-
forecast. The weather forecast is so unreliable for that. I think it's a difficult job.
If you're from
Yeah.
St Helens, let us know. Do you ever have 2 days of weather the same? We'd love to know.
Annual Invictus is very strong as well, nearly into 7-2.
I think he's going to...
Dusart's drifting, isn't he, Mark? He's out
this week.
to 3.
Again, they're going to be quite prominent on him looking at
5-2,
that.
yeah.
I think they're waiting for the sun to go down here. I think they're going to wait a couple of minutes and then they'll be dolling. But hang on a sec, I might be wrong there because the flag's up. The yellow and orange flag
Here we
is
go,
up,
come
so
on.
they're jogging in. I don't think they have taken those
Here
out.
we go.
It's such a shame, isn't it? Anyway, here we go. They're off and cutting out the
Invictus,
early running his annual Invictus from Shan to Express, and they pop over the first of not many. In third, we've got Dusart, and then we've got the old Corinthian Mr. Maxwell on Jatilui. On the inside of that one with the yellow hat is Captain Morgs. Captain Morgs' white silks have been in with some blue clothes because they've turned pale blue, which isn't very helpful. Out the back is Hugh Tread as they go over the second.
You're suggesting the
It is-
Kitman's had a shocker at
Yeah,
Edmonds?
I am, yeah. Any ripples in the market,
They're
Mark?
going a good clip here. Dusart got the box seat in third, 5-2.
he's jumped
Annual
big at that,
Invictus
hasn't
7-2. Yeah, he's jumping well.
He's big at that. That sun's virtually down. I mean, I suppose they can't take any chances, can they?
You want spotlights rather than donning off it.
Kate, you've got to give me more of an answer than when I threw to you in the early stage of the last round. She's like, not
I know,
really.
yeah, sorry about that. At least we're getting a little bit more pace put to the race. Dusart's controlling
31 miles an hour.
He's gone at 31, not 28. But
Exactly.
yeah, he's settled nicely there. He's jumping well on the back of that back operation, which was going to be pretty key to see early on. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with Dusart in third at the minute. Shantou Express isn't getting the uncontested lead I thought he was going to get in this.
Well, he's ensuring that Annual Invictus doesn't do what he did last time, Marc, isn't he? So what does the exchange mark? I'm assuming Annual Invictus is nearly favourite.
Yeah, he's 11 to 4, 3.9 on the Betfair Exchange. Dusart 3.45. Shantou Express, he's 22s. BSP 22. So there's not been a lot of movement here, but they're going a fair gallop here.
I've been fascinated to see how the Tom Siegel price-wise gamble Brazos has gone throughout the race because
10 to 1 on the Betfair Exchange right
this
now.
is obviously his big day in the sun. They're expecting connections, isn't it?
Is he tugging in a slightly perturbing way on the one in
I
front?
think Utread is, and
No, the leader.
Yeah, and
slow
him.
it down, yeah.
I was going to say they're the keen ones.
I don't like it when
Captain
they're keen. I
Morgs
just don't
also
like it.
is a bit keen, I would say. Brazos not great there. I love the way that Dusart's jumping. The cynic in me just thinks that Dusart is giving a lead to Captain Morgs here. And would they be disappointed if Dusart plays before he goes back over fences? Probably not off a mark of 150. So I wouldn't be place laying Captain Morgs at all.
They're all going quite well in behind.
Yeah, nothing's going badly. Nothing can be ruled out at this early
There's
junction.
a theory that if Maxi is involved at the final flight, he wins.
Why?
We had it at Sandown, albeit luckily last weekend.
Well, I've seen loads of times where that's just not true. I mean, that's astonishing.
It's because if the horse is there at the finish, it's taking Maxi into it a bit. It's got lots to find. I always find if Maxi's involved in a finish, he usually comes out on
What about
top.
Cool Cody? 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
remember
apart
that
from
one?
getting stolen
Well,
by
he couldn't
Cool
hold
Cody,
simply the bets, could he? So, it wasn't simply the bets.
I'm not
was
having
it?
that one,
St.
Dave.
Calvados.
St.
was on
Calvados.
there.
Put that to the test with hard money and come back and tell me. You'll be on the phone to James Corden going, James, can you lend me a one, please, mate?
That's a Rob Wave theory, potentially, that Gray's jump better. But I don't know. Whenever I see Maxi involved in a finish, I love him personally. Some of the shouts we have given him in here, Dolphin Square on New Year's Day last year was one of the highlights of my RP Live career when we just spotted it. And Matty Batch, we've never seen decibels as high as that before. Barry's on it at a big price. It was just absolute scene.
We have a race update. We've got Annual Invictus as they go out onto their second circuit, leading Shantou Express by a length, and then there's a 4-length gap back to Dusart in third. On that one's outer is Captain Morgs. In behind is the Corinthian on Jatalui. And then on the outside of that one, we've got Indefatigable, and the two that are being held up at the back are Brazos and Utread. But there's nothing much between them.
No.
Do you know what I don't like about commentators when they go, 6 lengths would cover them? Why don't you say, well, 6 lengths will or do cover them?
It's very subjective as well,
Yeah,
that. I mean,
exactly.
it's very hard to know. I do the close-ups.
Brazos has been ridden along just out of that flight. It might just be to get him back on song after a little rick. But
I wasn't sure about Dusart a hurdle ago. Now I like the way he's warming up into it a little bit.
Both the Nicky Henderson runners are going well. They're basically joint favourites, Captain Morgs.
Shantou's going right.
And, Shantou's going very well. 14s on the bet. No excuses for Shantou Express.
If you're on a closer, you want Dave Bass to go and eyeball the winner
Captain Morgs
of the leader now, and he's doing just that.
Dusart
a little bit slow.
He's just started waggling his arms a little bit there, hasn't he?
I think he did this at Air when he won, didn't
Shantou
he,
Express
Dusart?
8 to 1 and running here. BSB 22.
Go on, Shantou. That'd be good.
Indefatigable.
No excuses from
you
there.
can see she looks like she might have just had enough, didn't she? She's really not turned up.
So they're at the top of the hill with just one to jump because they've doled off the one in the home straight. So just about in front is Annual Invictus, but eyeballing that one on the outside and seeming just about to take over is Shantou Express.
Here. Come on.
Dicer and Captain Morgs are third and fourth, and then there's the gap back to Jatalui and the other two. Shantou going nicely, 3.6. My goodness me.
Here. Yeah, we've got a chance.
Is this the last then?
This is the jolly last. Shantou Express jumping up alongside Annual Invictus and going past it.
Indefatigable's coming back.
Captain Morgs is going really well. Captain Morgs going well. You are right. Annual Invictus is fighting
Dusart
back.
looks like he's needed this badly.
Dusart is not going to win, I don't think. Trying to stay on from the back is Brazos, and so is Jatalui. But as they turn in, it's Shantou Express
I like
and
it.
Annual Invictus.
Here comes
from Captain
Brazos.
Morgs, and here's Brazos from the back.
Come on, Dave.
They've
big
got
jump.
none to jump. 2 furlongs to go, though. And Shantu
on,
Express
Buffy!
takes it up.
Shantu.
Come on, Shantu. Shantu from Captain Morgs. Annual Invictus will not go away.
James Brown's
Brazos
being
is
very
coming there
clever
looking
on
good.
Captain
And
Morgs.
so's Jatalui.
Come on,
Those are
Dave.
the only
Come on,
5 that can win it.
He goes for the
Shantu Express
fence.
is looking for the inside rail. Gets it, but is running out of petrol. And now Captain Morgs comes through and takes it up. Presses on the accelerator and puts the race to bed. Captain Morgs is going to win it. It looks like Brazos is going to finish second. Annual Invictus is staying on really well to take third. But Captain Morgs has stayed on really well and won this by 6 lengths from Brazos. And then comes Annual Invictus in third. It looked like it was going to be close, but it wasn't. Captain Morgs for Nicky Henderson and James Bowen takes it out. The stable's better fancy companion nowhere.
Salute the captain, salute Bruce for the call. Great calls today from Bruce Millington. We've had some close shaves all the way. That, however, and I know he's won by about 5 or 6 lengths, but I said if you go back, it was quite a clever ride there by Bowen. Sometimes all we need is a little bit of headgear, isn't it? All right, second time we win up. Cheap pieces have definitely made a difference there. If you watch that back, when they're all neck and neck, he waits and waits and waits as long as he can. He's almost trying to put him right up against the back of horses, Kate, because they need to know they're not in a race until the very last minute, these type of horses.
Yeah, exactly. And he's another horse where we talked about a few of these beforehand that they were a bit wayward in their attitudes that they've shown. Captain Morgs I would have put into that category beforehand as well. But like I say, he got the first time cheap pieces here, second run after a wind operation, first time he had tried 3 miles as well, considering he was a just shy of 2-mile winner over hurdles previously. This was going to be stepping into unknown territory for him, but with that extra bit of pace, kidded him into the race there. And yeah, in a race that it was going to take, we were going to learn a lot more, I think, on the back of this race. Then, yeah, he's that was pretty impressive all the same.
You'd be thinking they'll try and get him qualified in a Potence now or something, wouldn't you? That's probably having won over 3 miles at Cheltenham. If you're a handicapper, has he tried fences before? He did, didn't he? I think it didn't go well for him. Yeah, that's right. He came third. He didn't jump very well.
Marc, break my heart. What price was Shantu?
I love that run from Shantu there. I'm not sure why he's tried to go for the rail. He's lost all the momentum.
It's the move, isn't it? They all try.
Yeah,
and do
they
it.
do.
Just dragged him. He's lost all momentum. Stopped.
I mean, he absolutely turned sharp right to get on the rail,
Lost
didn't he?
all- Even money. This one's went.
Was he?
PSP
Oh.
22s.
I'm looking at where he's won, guys. Stratford, Market Raise and Sedgefield. He probably found that a bit stiff, that finish, I think. But he gave you a great run for your money.
Winners went as big as 6-1 in running for decent money. It does are 2.37.
When
that was happening.
Yeah,
When?
never.
I suppose now it might have been, I
He
guess.
just was on and off a
Because
little
it
bit.
looked like there was only 4 could win, didn't it?
That is
Russell's
very
just
much a comeback run, that, isn't it?
Russell's run really well from
Strange race. It ran on again.
Yeah,
didn't
it did
Yeah,
run well.
I mean, Tom was pretty much right there with his tip, wasn't he? He just found the winner first run.
One thing I've noticed as well, all afternoon, horses that have led haven't fallen away as much as you might have thought. There's a lot have stayed on really well, even Oakley in the previous race, but the first 2 were in our first race were the first 2 all the way, weren't they? So not too much has come from behind today, has it? Interesting day.
Well, interesting day, interesting panel it's been, interesting chats. We've had a bit of the in-between, the Ante-post. You've been giving some great tipping along the way, raucous reaction. One of those Fridays, we didn't know whether we were going to be on or not. It's been great to have you, Marc Hryhorskyj, once again knocking it out. You're back for more tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at Cheltenham again. It should be on tomorrow, but hopefully get a couple more winners.
There will be a show tomorrow, even if there isn't Cheltenham. That's the thing we should say to you. Kate, great stuff. Wrap yourself up tonight. More again tomorrow, please.
Yeah, exactly. More again tomorrow, those. And we have some weaker races at Doncaster tomorrow, but still some bets, I think, within those races. So
Yeah, we've got a novice
all
chase with
sorts.
like 12 runners in it. Who knew? It's a grade 2. Bruce, great to have you back.
Sorry, mate, I'm just trying to see if Shantu held on for 4th. No, he didn't. Oh, well, yeah, thanks, Dave. I enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely
Good fun.
fantastic. We get you on the weekdays, of course. It's been absolutely fantastic. Listen, guys, I'm not back tomorrow, so if I don't see any of you again, Merry Christmas and all that sort of thing. And to you out there, I'm not done with, don't worry, I'll be back once before Christmas, of course. Then we'll be with you on Boxing Day, and we're going to be doing, it looks like, New Year's Eve and a New Year's Day double for you as well, where we're hopefully welcoming back Cheltenham then as well. So tomorrow, December Gold Cup, 1:30. Don't miss it here on Racing Post Live.